But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
I don't know whether rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, almost direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
All right, good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. This show is live. We get together Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific to talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. You know what those things are. Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. We are streaming on Rockfin, D-Live, YouTube, and Twitter, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, and we're taking your phone calls. As always, this is a two-way conversation. If you can hear me out there tonight, it's Wednesday night, somewhere in the middle of October 20th, exactly 11 days till Halloween. And, well, this conversation, it goes two ways, like I was saying, meaning, well, I bring something to start the conversation and hopefully tickle your brain a little bit, and you call in and talk to me and talk to whoever might be listening, and you never know who might be listening. But not that matters too much, because it is just a conversation, and there's no reason we should be ashamed or bashful or afraid to speak, afraid to think. And that's what this is about. This is about getting together and thinking and caring and wondering what's going on in the world around us and trying to put two and two together. And no, it does not equal five. It does not equal five, regardless of what the media would want to tell you and the establishment would want to tell you and what the political sphere would want to tell you. 2 + 2, I promise you, does not equal 5. That's for a fact. And, well, that's as far as I'm going to go as with facts are concerned. Because, like I said, this is not it is a conversation. This is not a preach session. This is not me on a soapbox trying to tell you how to live your life or how to ascend or become something you're not. It's none of those things. This is, again, just very simple, just a conversation. And so if you want to be part of the show tonight, we have a phone number up, and you can reach us at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. That's a Las Vegas area code. And if you want to be part of the show and you are international style or don't like that long distance or whatever, you can join the Discord at troubledminds.org. Just go to the website. The phone number is there. The Discord link is there. And Discord is a chat client. It's a voice client. We have people call in every show using Discord, and it's absolutely free. It's a fantastic program. It's absolutely free, and a lot of chat going on in there most days as well. And it's a good thing. It's good when you have technology that brings people together. It's hard to argue with it. It's hard to complain. It's hard to do any of that. So we're not going to do any of that. We're gonna praise the technology that is good to us, and well, hopefully they don't start censoring thoughts over on Discord like that's happening everywhere else. And if that happens, by the way, so we are on a platform called Rockfin, and also Fringe. By the way, Fringe is also a free speech platform, right? Joe Root basically is very kind in letting us say whatever the heck we want to say. Not one time has he called me and said, "Hey, Mike, I think that we should do this tonight instead because the things you're talking about are just too hot and spicy." Not once has Joe ever called and said that because, a conversation needs to happen. Some thoughts that don't usually get brought up are important. And again, right, free speech and all the rest of this, it's one of those things that is critical to me. It's important. It's one of the last bastions of what truth may be. Like I said, questions are probably more important than the answers at this point, and so let's ask the right questions and let's do it together. And that's what the show's about. It's what the show's always been about. So there we go. Please also join the Discord at fringe.fm/chat. Discord is the same program. It's just two different chat rooms. Lots of good folks in both spots. A lot of overlap as well. And just come say hi. Come and definitely say hi. What's going on? I see you guys in the chat. We're watching all the chat in all the places, and I will read the chat as we go and try and work it into the conversation. But the best way is to call if you want to be on the show, 702-957-1037. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So looking through the news again, as usual, right? You know me. I like to pay very close attention to the news cycles because there's lots of interesting things happening out there. And I think the thing that is just kills me every single day is that the interesting things happening out there are not being reported. Mostly, you turn on, like I said, the mainstream media, and they're going to be lying to you. They're going to be telling you what to think. They're going to be, they have all the answers, right? They know who to vote for, and they know when to do it, and they're going to tell you when and how, right? They're going to, unless they don't want you to, and then they're going to, they're going to do what they do and change the story so that you believe something else. Anyway, skip those guys, forget those guys. We're not talking about those guys anymore. That's that. But tonight, check this out. This is reported in a few places, but not a lot. But we did talk about this on our news show that we do on Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. on Twitch. By the way, we do stream on Twitch and do a show in the daytime on Mondays and Fridays to kind of catch the news cycle as they start spinning up their garbage on Monday, and on dumping day on Fridays they start spinning up the rest of that to hide stuff over the weekend. So that's a good couple days to do it. So we do a news show called Troubled Minds News on Monday and Friday on Twitch. Anyway, so here we go. This is from Universe Today, and this is October 19th. What do you know? Yesterday. This has been reported for a few days now, but now some of these space-type websites are picking it up and talking about it. But it's interesting. We've been talking about in the past all kinds of things, right? The Galactic Federation and aliens and all that, all kinds of stuff, right? All kinds of weirdness. But this right here, this is science. This is actual science. And so now we're going to play a little bit of conspiracy speculation theater tonight and see if we can put on our thinking caps and our dreaming caps as well and see if we can find out what's going on with this. So let's look at this. This is from, again, yesterday. And the headline reads this: "Something really wants our attention. One object released 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days. Okay, all right, 47 days, and this thing is just going nuts. It's just sending signals pretty much directly at us. And, what is up with this? Here we go. The energetic phenomenon known as fast radio bursts are one of the greatest cosmic mysteries today. These mysterious flashes of light are visible in the radio wave part of the spectrum and usually last only a few milliseconds before fading away forever. Since the first FRB was observed in 2007, astronomers have looked forward to the day when instruments of sufficient sensitivity would be able to detect them regularly. Okay, well, it's happening. It's happening. That day has arrived with the completion of the 500-meter Fast Radio Telescope, a.k.a. Tianyan, or the Eye of Heaven in Chinese. Since it commenced operations, this observatory has vastly expanded the number of detected fast radio bursts. In fact, according to the research led by the National Astronomical Observatories of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, the observatory detected a total of 1,652 independent bursts from a single source in 47 days. In 47 days. And now, what does that sound like? What does that seem like? Now we have... exactly. We got some good ideas out there. Binary code. Is this Morse code? Like, what's going on with this? A little bit strange when you have this basically pointed directly at us. We have these 1,600 plus fast radio bursts happening within a 47-day span, and we're picking it up. It's almost like something out there is trying to get our attention. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about, the little tongue-in-cheek, broadcasting from Proxima Centauri, that little thing, the commercial that we do on the Fringe here. But, there's that, which is kind of cute and cheeky and all that stuff. But this is happening. This is real. This is not something that's just, science fiction. This is actually... some sort of something going on. And so, in the sense of what we know about fast radio bursts, these would be, gigantic interstellar explosions of a sort, right? Something to this effect, neutron stars, things like this. But it's unprecedented that in this day and age, we're finding this happen, which is, again, one particular object spamming us, essentially, just spamming us with signals. And so, again, pointed directly at us, almost like it's trying to get our attention somehow, trying to make sure that we do not miss it, which is interesting and notable, of course, and strange, if you ask me. And so the question tonight is this. Like, it got me thinking, all right, so what if? Let's just, we'll get more into this about, some of the science and the data and where this information came from. But the thing is this, right? It got me thinking. So what if... there was some sort of galactic federation out there? What if there were aliens watching us somehow? And what if this particular signal was maybe a last-ditch effort to get our attention for some reason or another? What would you think? And if that's the case, what do you think they're trying to tell us? Like some people in the chat so far have suggested some sort of binary code or some sort of Morse code or something like this going on. Like, what is actually happening? And if so, let's say it is. Let's, again, put on our dreaming hats for a moment and just consider this. If an alien civilization was trying to frantically get our attention, what do you think they'd be trying to tell us? Clearly, there's the simple things like we're here, right? Those simple things. But what if there is some sort of code actually inlaid in this signal itself, and they're trying to get us a message? What do you think it would be? And so with that said, and like I said, if we put our dreaming hats on tonight, which I'm asking you to do, take a leap of faith and let's put our dreaming hats on and dream together just a moment. What do you think they'd be telling humanity if there was some sort of signal embedded, some sort of code embedded in this fast radio burst that's coming from, again, over 1,647 days, pointed directly at us, almost as if it's a speed dial, it's a spam, it's a, hey, we're out there. I think that's the weird part, is what's going on with this? And then, again, tuck that dreaming hat in behind your ears and think this. If you were an alien civilization and you knew what was going on planet Earth right now, what would be the message you would try and send to humanity? And that's what's on my mind tonight. What could they possibly be trying to tell us Again, like I said, there's no confirmation here. This is aliens or whatever else. So, like I said, we're going to put on some speculation hats, the tinfoil a little bit, tuck it into the dreaming hats, and we'll just assume that maybe this is an unprecedented thing, and possibly, of course, they can't rule out contact from some alien civilization, which has me thinking, why exactly are they seemingly frantically trying to get a hold of us? And if there is some sort of message embedded in this fast radio burst signal, what do you think they're trying to tell us? And again, turn it around on you. If you were an alien civilization and knew all the things you know right now about Earth, what would you be trying to tell humans that they need to know? What do we need to know? Seems like some of the answers here on Earth could be very easy. But it also seems like some of the answers here are extremely complicated. And, well, maybe with an advanced technological civilization out there somewhere that's maybe been through similar growing pains to humanity and our fake news cycles and propaganda and governments running away with power and trying to strip it away from the people, that maybe they have some advice. Like I said, that's not the only problems we have here on Earth. There's all kinds of other problems. So I'm asking you, if you were an alien civilization with a high level of technological superiority to our technology, clearly, what would you want us to know? And what kind of signal do you think you would embed in this fast radio burst? And that's the question for tonight. As we begin, like I said, we're going to put our tinfoil dreaming hats on, and we're going to wonder and consider, what do we need to know to be better as people, to be better as a planet, as we're on the cusp of Elon Musk sending people to Mars, on the cusp of many nations stepping foot on the moon, India, China, Russia, the United Arab Emirates. There's a lot of actual space action going on. We've got our very first Space Force, and China's got their own version of a Space Force. There's a second. China just put up a international space station. Sorry, not international, but Chinese space station. So there's a lot going on, and we've got the Starlink satellites. We've got tons of junk in space. We've got what would you tell us? There's so many things I think that are pertinent that we need to know, that we need to consider as priorities here. But again, right, we have this stupid division politics coming from the left and the right. We have just all the fake news, all the propaganda, all the government. Still around the world, slavery is still going on in places in the world, okay? They're still butchering people for being political dissidents some places in the world. They're still taking people and putting them in concentration camps as prisoners of consciousness. Look, of your own ideas, right? The Uyghur Muslims, for instance, in China. Like, this stuff is happening out there. Like, we have big problems on this planet, and, hunger and all kinds of things, right? Depends on where you look. Everywhere you look, there's going to be massive problems. And I think we're at the point where we could probably solve a lot of this ourselves as humans. But what stands in the way? I think that's the question. If you were an alien civilization trying to spam us with some signal through the cosmos, what would the message be? And that's what I'm asking you to dream with me tonight, with a little tinfoil, a little bit of a dreaming hat, a little bit of faith and hope in humanity, and a little bit of looking forward and up to the stars. And if you want to be part of the show tonight, I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Like I said, reading all the chats and all the places and just hanging out, doing our thing, talking about weird stuff and the rest of this. So let's continue and go back to this weird signal that's happening here. So the research, which recently appeared in the journal Science, was conducted by researchers from the Commensal Radio Astronomy Fast Survey, the CRAFTS project. The CRAFTS, it's called CRAFTS, C-R-A-F-T-S, includes researchers from the Cornell Center for Astrophysics, the Max Planck Institute for Radio Astronomy, the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, and multiple universities in China, Australia, and the U.S. All right, that's where this information came from. Now, here we go. To break this phenomenon down, fast radio bursts are highly energetic, producing a year's worth of solar output in the space of milliseconds. Think about that. So it's almost as if it's intentional. Like I said, it's one thing to just kind of be firing off just random shots out into space. But all of these things are coming from a very long way, and they're hitting Earth directly. So much that our radio telescopes are picking them up. Yeah, and so here we go. So in rare cases, astronomers have found bursts that were repeating in nature, which has allowed them to conduct follow-up studies, which was a conundrum since 2007, because most times fast radio bursts do not repeat. They absolutely do not. And so just recently, in the last 3 years, we're starting to have these situations where we have repeating fast radio bursts, which is pretty amazing, considering, now they have these different ideas of maybe neutron stars or some of this other thing, right? Who knows? Like some sort of natural progression thing, right? Some of them repeat. Some of the shorter ones have repeated on, every 2.2 days, like exactly sort of thing. Like there's some sort of orbital situation going on, maybe some sort of cloud blocking the signal. And so it makes it intermittent. But in this case, right, this is unprecedented because it's not just a repeating signal. It seems like a spam phone call. You ever had that like a telemarketer just dying to get a hold of you because your car warranty is just worn out, and at least they tell you it is, and they're just dying to get a hold of you because they want to sell you on this sucker, right? This is kind of what this feels like. It kind of feels like somebody is really, really trying to get Earth's attention with something. And so what would that attention be? And where is this coming from is the question, right? So, of course, you can go follow it back where it came from in space and say, well, to the best of our knowledge, we think it might be there, right? And they can trace it back a little bit. However, also, if we're talking about an actual extraterrestrial civilization maybe trying to get a hold of humanity somehow, it could be a lot closer, couldn't it? It could be maybe something from some sort of mothership somewhere out there cloaked in the, in the Oort cloud or something. Like, who knows? Like, this is part of the weirdness of this. If we're dreaming on this, and again, like I said, a little bit of tinfoil, a little bit of our dreaming caps tonight, where is this coming from? And are they trying to get a signal to us? And that's the question that's on my mind tonight. And not just that, one more time, I'm gonna throw this in. Is this, if you were an alien civilization and you wanted to tell Earth something, what would it be? There you go. So here we go. The exotic explanation. Okay, here we go. While the origin of these bursts is still unknown, possible explanations range from hypermagnetized neutron stars and black holes to cosmic strings left over from the Big Bang, and even, yep, you guessed it, alien transmissions. Alien transmissions. Yeah. And so that's what's on my mind tonight. I think that this doesn't get enough play. This doesn't get enough people talking about it because it's unprecedented. We talked about this on the news show. But is this a spam call from aliens trying to describe or tell us something we need to know immediately? Once again, it is this many, 1,652 fast radio bursts in a span of 47 days pointed directly at us, almost like they know we're here. Yeah, so there we go. That's where we begin tonight, and why not? Why not? Because it is Wednesday, and Wednesday typically has been alien night, so let's talk about aliens tonight. And if you were an alien civilization and you had to give Earth a message frantically, what do you think has been embedded in this fast radio burst as a code to humanity? And if not, well, the message is "Let's go, Brandon." That's funny. But what's the actual thing? If you were able to tell humanity one thing in this message, if it was a binary code of sorts, if it was some sort of hidden code, something like Morse code, something like sacred geometry, because that's how possibly we communicate, right? What would it be? And that's the question tonight. That's what's on my mind. And as always, when I put my eyes up to the stars and my mind into the universe itself, well, here we are. We end up talking about Really weird stuff, and I hope you guys dig it. So, as we continue tonight, that's what's on my mind. If you were an alien civilization frantically trying to reach Earth, what message do you think you would send? What does Earth need to know about its past, its present, and its future? Love to hear your thoughts on this. If you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can join the show at troubledminds.org and also click the Discord link. Looking to hear from you. Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds, space, and you after the break. Be right back. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are streaming on Rockfin, D-Live, YouTube, and Twitter. And we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. Tonight, we're talking about fast radio bursts and how there seems to be an interstellar spam line with over 1,600 fast radio bursts hitting Earth in 47 days. What the hell does this mean? Is there some sort of alien connection here? And if you were an alien trying to get a hold of Earth and humanity and give us a message, what would that message be? That's what's on my mind tonight. If you want to be part of the show, love to hear your thoughts on this. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And you could join the Discord at troubledminds.org. But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways we can look at this tonight. And that was the question. Like I had, I always kind of have several show ideas kind of going into the daytime. I've seen the news. And I'm trying to figure what some of the best conversation might be, okay? And this one, I was like, okay, this is so generic and so linear. There's things coming from the sky all the time that are unexplained. Except then I was like, wait a minute though. So what if the aliens are actually trying to get a hold of us frantically like this, like 1,600 signals in 47 days? That's like a spam call, like a just ringing off the hooks type spam call, right? Like something from a horror movie. Like you got to cut the line because it's just annoying. So if that's the case, what are they trying to tell us? That doesn't seem to be an accident here, and so it makes me wonder. Like I said, let's tuck our tinfoil into our dreaming hat and think. What do you think is the most important thing for humanity to know? And hopefully, maybe that's what we're hearing from the stars. Hopefully, it's not a warning to evacuate the Earth immediately because there's something coming. But I think this is an interesting thing that not just again because of the science of what's going on with the rest of this and the fast radio burst and less unprecedented one that just seems to be spam calling us constantly here. But if there was a message from the cosmos, what do you think it would be? And again, you can kind of put your alien hat on here and consider that, well, maybe humanity needs to know this. So we're going to be able to maybe have that kind of conversation tonight. Again, looking to hear from you, 702-957-1037. And let's go to, looks like we have, looks like our good friend Joe in Florida. Welcome to the show, my man. How are you tonight?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Good. Man. Hopefully this is not a warning from space. Let's just call it that. The Intergalactic Emergency Alert System, says the Night Stalker.
There's a million ways we could go, right? assuming that other things are true, meaning when we went to the moon, we were told not to go back there. Supposedly, and all these, other things you hear about the moon, and we haven't been back there. Now it seems like every country on the planet is trying to get their junk into space, and maybe, they're telling us you shouldn't be out here. You shouldn't be out here. It kind of reminds me of The Next Generation. I think it was the first episode where Q basically tells, Picard and his crew, are you sure you want to be out here? Because there's a lot of bad stuff. Maybe you should take care of your own planet first. If there's anything like us, and maybe some of us humans, as much as I love space and aliens, we don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean. And I think resources would be better spent maybe seeing if we could populate the bottom of the ocean, or somehow all of us get underground at some point. All of us that are being misled to, all billionaires going out into space, hey, that's great. But you think they're going to take us when the time comes? You think any one of us are going to be able to afford to get out on a spaceship? I would hope that signal, if it's something that could be deciphered, if it's something that is man-made or, made by something. Even if there was a message in there that was for humanity, do you think whoever's deciphering that code would tell us?
Ooh, that's
what that signal is.
Isn't that the worst part? Isn't that the worst part? It could be. What if it's like direct, literal directions on how to save the planet, right? And then you have, I don't know, pick your favorite oligarch that gets
Pretty
this
much
information first.
Yeah.
Are they going to tell us? Yeah, probably not. Unfortunately.
Exactly. Probably not. They're going to save themselves, and they're going to leave us here to burn. Well, the methane gets released out of the poles, and whatever other natural disaster we might see in the movie might happen, and we'll just suffocate slowly. Or everybody else, well, they're gone.
Right, or exactly whatever horrificness. Yeah. Okay, so I saw some great funny jokes here in the chat too. You were popping some jokes off as well with the music to stop playing this, start playing that type of stuff. So of course, right? There's some pretty obvious ones. I think if you're considering that, maybe we were getting some sort of message to do less of this and more of this sort of situation. Let's call it cosmic advice. Let's say we were getting some sort of cosmic advice from an extraterrestrial civilization. I think the obvious ones would be, stop destroying your planet. Stop butchering people. Stop murdering people. Stop letting people starve when the food is available and we're throwing it away every day. I think there's some easy ones. But beyond that, I don't know. What do you think? Like from an extraterrestrial mind, they might try and, I don't know, like, I think that's the weirdness of this, is kind of putting on that dreaming tinfoil hat here, is we don't even know what an extraterrestrial value would be, right? Maybe there's too many people on the planet, maybe that's what they're trying to tell us, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it is dark and sinister.
I tend to think that. You see this in a lot of science fiction, and I find it like in British science fiction, but order and chaos. And when you reach order, and I tend to think that the universe is chaotic, that it likes to find some order or some balance. And what does our country look like? We look like a mess that just got out of bed with 2 hours sleep, and we haven't shaved for 6 weeks, and we're trying to go to work. This whole, our world looks like a disaster, an embarrassment, a disaster to any order, whatever that would be. We would have to think that anybody else that's spacefaring, or at least has the ability to send a signal, they have to do that unanimously. One planet. I hate to sound, for lack of a better term, maybe there are just a bunch of Chinese, that are sending us a signal to ourselves. I don't know. But for lack of a better, for lack of a better story, we're not organized by any. We're divided by our race, our heritage. We've been pushed to be divided that way. Our color, our skin, all of those things. It is something that's behind sending the signal that again is man-made. I don't know. They might be saying get it all together. Other thoughts that occur to me are, wasn't there an article of evidence that parallel universes were pushing up against ours?
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically string theory. Yeah, for sure.
And, I start to wonder, if maybe there's a parallel, like total science fiction, but maybe there's a parallel universe like ours that had a different outcome, and maybe they're testing their collider, and it's bigger. Maybe it's a ring that goes around the whole planet, and we're starting to see signals coming through from whatever that is. Maybe something's opening up. I know the Night Stalker loves to say the old ones. I was talking about that today with an episode of TV I was watching. Who knows? I mean, it's fun to think about. Totally fun to think about. But I don't think we'll ever know what that message is, ever. If that was the space version of the vision at, Our Lady of Lords, when those people say they saw the Virgin Mary, those kids, but other things say that it was like the sun jumping around and things jumping around, almost like a signal. Maybe this is the space version of that, and we're never going to know. Because the people that can receive that signal aren't going to tell us.
Exactly. I think that's probably the unfortunate part here. If it's something that's going to be critical to humanity, we would be relying on humanity to relay that message to us, wouldn't we? We got a Brian After Dark, and that YouTube says, "Yikes! I hope there would be someone intelligent enough in the private sector to figure it out." You guys ever seen the original Independence Day? Remember that signal that was recycling to extinction? Here we go.
Yeah, well, he figured out that was that a simple virus, a simple computer virus would work, and it makes you wonder if whatever they might have captured the crash in Roswell around the world, if maybe they do know a little bit more about the programming, about the binary, about the code. Zeros and ones, flipping, on and off, open and close. If you had to do a universal lamp, something that would, I guess, fill the backdrop of the universe or the simulation or whatever we're living in. So, just kind of blows your mind. And then the other thing is, if there is something behind that signal, are they able to send ships here? Or is that going to be, or maybe they're 100 years ahead of us, or 200 years ahead of us, and they haven't achieved, and even if they've achieved light speed, how long would it take to get here?
Exactly.
And maybe they're saying they're coming.
Yeah, and so that's the weird part here, is that so clearly if we can't literally track it all the way back to a particular source planet or neutron star or something like this, which is clearly the case right now, it could be something between here and there, which of course would be just like you described, some sort of alien mothership, maybe on the way. And yeah, kind of gives you that Independence Day vibes.
And that's why we're getting, that's why we're getting prepared for stuff. That's why they're letting out disclosure. Who knows? I mean, you light up a target. You're going to light up your target. Maybe that thing was flying around and it was asleep and it turns on and it's recalculating, it's flipping a target. Maybe that's the way it coordinates the universe. It's a pretty big place. You got to know where you're at in space, where your point is. So maybe that was it turning on, getting its navigation and its GPS ready to go, and it just keeps on coming. And it makes you wonder if that Rolly Mama that came through, maybe if that was a probe. If you start to play crazy, connect the dots, that Rolly Mama asteroid that came through and took off, and they said that, I think it was Aviolo that we talked about the other day. He said it could have been a probe or a piece of junk from a spaceship. So who knows if that was the first pass, and it's reporting back to whatever that is, and however close that is.
Exactly. Imagine if this thing doesn't let up. If it just keeps sending signals, and they keep getting more and more, right? They're getting more and more frantic. Oh boy. That's not the way space works. It's not the way space works. So it would at least again, that's why we're talking about it, because what if, right? You throw some cosmic what ifs out there and you never really know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Lots here to consider, lots to think about. Fantastic stuff as always. What else you got, man? Anything else you got on your mind about this?
I just hope it gets the conversation started with everybody, and it's always good to just not think about work and the rest of the humdrum. It's pretty bad when you're like, well, I could step outside and maybe there's an alien force out there, and that might be okay, but I definitely don't want to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work. So, if you had to choose.
There you go. Amen to that.
But
it is unfortunate.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, bro. I appreciate the call. That's Joe in Florida, old friend of the show.
Right.
Thanks for kicking us off, man. So it is unfortunate that, as Joe's describing, a nice distraction from work would be a good old-fashioned alien invasion. Maybe this is how it starts. Fantastic call, my friend. We're looking to hear from you tonight. As we consider this, as we talk about this, like I said, I'm asking you to put on your dreaming tinfoil hats tonight and consider that this is what's going on. Over 1,600 signals, explosions as they were. It's what they call them, cosmic explosions, within a 40-day period directed right at us. It's almost as if somebody was trying to spam us, trying to send us an intergalactic message to give us some information that maybe we need to know immediately. And if that was the case, like I said, we're going full on conspiracy speculation theater here tonight, because why not? It's fun to think about this, fun to talk about this. And the last time we did this full on was we talked about what an alien invasion might be like. Well, so maybe this is how it starts. Maybe they're warning us to evacuate as they move in closer and closer, sending us this repeating signal over and over and over again. And remember, very much like Independence Day, the original one with Jeff Goldblum and all that. I guess he was in the sequels as well. But imagine that this signal is very much like they were trying to decipher that the satellites were picking up. Remember, if you guys remember in the beginning of that movie, the screens were kind of scrambling on the news stations and whatnot because they had got into the satellite system and were using it to triangulate where they were going to land on planet Earth. So interesting, right? That it didn't start with the ships showing up first. It began with a signal. Yes. So I don't know. That's what's on my mind tonight. Considering this new scientific news that is breaking this week, basically, is this. This is from, again, Universe Today, and something really wants our attention. One object released 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days. And what if, well, here's where the conspiracy speculation theater comes in. What if this is not as simple as it seems? This is not just some undiscovered piece of the cosmos that's a naturally recurring thing. What if it is a signal from an extraterrestrial civilization? And who knows? What are they trying to tell us? Maybe they are on some sort of mothership and they're coming closer. Maybe this is first contact. And it's happening, again, very much like the movies would say. Jodie Foster in Contact, right? It happened through the satellites. It happened with a signal. But, of course, those movies didn't end with a signal. They ended with all kinds of crazy stuff. So, there you go. If you want to be part of the show tonight, what do you think? So basically not just this, all right? The weirdness here is that it is repeating. It is repeating on an unprecedented scale. They have found some repeating fast radio bursts in the past that were, like I said, every couple days type thing, once every couple days, and they were able to time it and predict it. So that seems like it would be sort of a natural occurrence, okay? Meaning that, there was some sort of, like I said, orbital cloud debris kind of blocking something that was constantly emitting, some kind of beam at us. And this cloud was kind of blocking it every 2 days. It was, letting the signal through, sort of thing. But in this case, that doesn't seem to be at all because, again, over 1,600 pings in 47 days. And now, right, this is just, again, the first thing they're releasing for us. So if they're trying to do this and say that, well, this just happened, this is just hitting the news cycle this week, well, are they going to find more of this as we continue digging into the data? Because that's how this is found, right? They don't just notice this because these things are tiny, like milliseconds. That's how fast these pings last. And so what's happening, the weirdness here is that it's off the chain. It's just beep, 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 almost like people have described in the chat as maybe Morse code, as maybe some sort of binary sequence that we're supposed to decipher somehow. And so that's what's on my mind tonight. That's the question. And if they were sending some sort of signal to us, so put yourself in the shoes of a possible alien civilization, and you were frantically trying to get a hold of Earth to tell them something. What would that something be? Like I said, there's some easy ones. Stop murdering each other. Stop lying to each other. Stop polluting the earth. Stop putting all these satellites up there. You're blocking our view. Who knows, right? There's all kinds of crazy things going on, but that you could point out easily. But what do you think? If you were the aliens trying to tell humanity something they desperately needed to know, what would that be? And that's what's on my mind tonight. That's some of that conspiracy speculation theater as we consider all the things and look at the science and look at the articles and have a good time. What's going on? I see a Will in the chat. Thanks for showing up. So what's up, Ash? How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Okay, so that's what's going on. Let's see. Robert says, perhaps the signal is to alert the subterranean Earth aliens. It is time to come up to the surface and take over the planet. Or it's an urgent warning that they leave the planet before some disaster. Alien race, he continued. Let's see. Sherry says could be ultra-terrestrials. Exactly. 3D printed aliens. Odd to me that it's repeating. Adonis says maybe signals aren't for us, but for all the aliens in our area. Oh, anybody ever seen, happy birthday, Daryl. Has anybody ever seen the old Star Blazers way back in the 80s? It was like this Japanese cartoon that they repurposed the battleship Yamamoto, I think is what it was called. And they turned it into a space cruiser, and it went out to fight the aliens. In the beginning of it, they had this, or in the front of this ship, they had this big kind of hole. It was kind of like the Death Star. You guys remember the Death Star had kind of that circle on it that had like the big gun? Well, back in the old days, the Star Blazers, they called it the wave motion gun. And it wasn't powerful enough to destroy a planet, but it was definitely powerful enough to destroy like a large mothership type of thing. It was like their main weapon, and they had to like shut down all kinds of different power on the ship just to fire this thing. It was sort of a last ditch, put all the power into one final shot type of thing. But maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they're giving a signal to the extraterrestrials, the ultra-terrestrials that are here, and the extraterrestrials already in the region to clear out, because they're about to unleash the wave motion gun. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. Brian After Dark says, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. From those old school decoder rings, right? Yeah, the wave motion gun. See, Joe knows. That's what it was called. Us oldies, us old timers remember that. But okay, I used to run home from school to watch that show because if I lollygagged, I would miss it. So I would just hustle my butt home, and I would be able to catch Star Blazers on TV. It's pretty amazing. So I don't know. So what's going on with this? Like I said, this just kind of throwing out some odd, crazy, weird speculation here. You know, I do not think an alien invasion is imminent, but of course, as usual, I'm willing to consider it as a possibility because, well, that's what we do here. We consider all the possibilities. So are they trying to send us a message? Are they trying to give us a warning? Is it some sort of something in between, or is this not an alien signal at all? Throw cold water on your face, Michael Strange. Back off the weird ledge, and it ain't that at all. I'm open to all of it. You guys know me. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. We're just having fun tonight. We're just getting our mind off of work and all the mundane things we have to deal with from day to day. And why not begin talking about an alien invasion or some sort of signal from the stars? You tell me. Like I said, I'm laughing because it's fun. It's not. I do not think that it's an alien invasion is imminent. So nobody give away all your fortunes to comet juice selling preachers. Don't do that, please. So anyway, so that's what's on my mind tonight. That's what's going on. If you guys want to be part of the show, we're going to keep on talking about this. We're going to keep on trucking as these particular radio signals, over 1,000 of them in 47 days, hit the earth. Do you think there's some message embedded in there, some code sent from an extraterrestrial civilization? And if so, what do you think it is? If you were an extraterrestrial advanced civilization technologically, and you wanted to give Earth a message, what would it be? And that's what's on my mind tonight, because why the hell not? because that's what we do. Drink a lot of the maybe juice on this show and talk about all kinds of weird stuff, and we're doing it again tonight. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. More alien signals, maybe juice, and you after the break. Be right back.
And they also feel them planting.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. This show is live. We're streaming on Rock Band D Live, YouTube, and Twitter, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. And of course, we're taking your phone calls. If you want to be part of the show tonight, the number to call, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can also join the Discord and find the phone number at the official website, troubledminds.org. And yeah, that's what's up. Please join the Discord at fringe.fm/chat. We've got Catalina, Laura over there talking it up. I see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And chat is everywhere. I'm reading the chat in all the different places and just saying hi. So if you want to be part of the show, I will read the chat as we go as much as I can, as much as it makes sense. But the best way to get on the show is to give me a call, 702-957-1037. All right, and tonight we're discussing this. This news just hit this past week, and like I said, typically the things we talk about just don't get enough news coverage, in my opinion. And so we're talking about this tonight. Instead, we're talking about not the border crisis, like you turn on Fox News, it's like the border crisis. You turn on CNN, it's like, everybody's dying, they're all dying, get the shot, right? No, we're not talking about those things, right? That's not what's going on here. And again, there's as always, there's some truth to the spin. All right, so I'm not saying to discount those things or making fun of those things in particular. I'm making fun of the way they actually cover it. That's what I'm making fun of. So just to let you know, we're not doing any of that. We're doing this. So this is reported by a lot of sources now, but we're going to start with this. This is from Universe Today. And yeah, something really wants our attention. One object released 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days. That's right, 47 days. Over 1,600. And so, of course, the weirdness here is that there's a strangeness going on with fast radio bursts themselves. Okay, first, as early back as 2007, they were finding single fast radio bursts that were milliseconds long, just super quick signals from outer space. It seemed random. and they wouldn't actually repeat. And so there was some sort of question about what's happening out in the universe and what's going on with this stuff and all the rest of that, right? But then they continued scanning the sky as they do with the radio telescopes. And what happened is they started to catch repeating versions of these fast radio bursts. At first, they were small repetitions, like I said, and soon they were actually able to, I think there was only 11 ever that they've caught repeating over hundreds or even the low amount of thousands of singular ones that never repeated. But even the 11 or so that they were able to repeat, only a couple or three of them they were actually able to detect as predictable repeating patterns, meaning, it happened every exactly 2 days or something like that, or every 11 hours or whatever. Okay, so fine, that's fine. That's science. That's fast radio bursts. That's the mysterious universe and all the things around us when you go out and look up at the sky, right? Well, then there's this whole other thing that just happened, which makes this super ultra crazy weird, is that not just did it happen and repeat, it was like we were being spam dialed, right? Directly at Earth. And yes, you guessed it, just like I said, in 47 days, we have over 1,600 fast radio bursts shot right at us. And so the question I had, and I was considering tonight, is, well, if this is the case, do you think it's possible, which they haven't ruled out, by the way, that it's an alien signal? And if it was an alien signal, and they were spamming us like a bad spam phone call, like we were joking earlier, your car warranty is expired, and we need to sign you up immediately, right? The Earth, your planet warranty has expired. Maybe that's what's going on with this, but who knows, right? So the thing that got my brain wondering about this and considering this is like, okay, if this is possibly some sort of extraterrestrial signal, and these fast radio bursts are, like people have described in the chat as we're going tonight, maybe some sort of binary code, some sort of signal embedded in these radio bursts, and they're repeating at such a high frequency because, meaning a lot of them, that not the frequency itself, but a lot of them in a short period of time, because they don't want us to miss it, right? They don't want us to miss it. So if that would be the case, it got me thinking, okay, if that's really what's going down right now, and you yourself were sort of trying to detach your brain and your consciousness and everything you are and put yourself in the shoes of an alien civilization, what would you try and tell Earth that you think Earth needs to know about itself, right? If you're the aliens and you're going to tell Earth about itself, what would you tell it? And it got me wondering, considering, right? And like I said, there's a lot of really obvious, easy ones here. Clearly, stop murdering people, right? Stop letting people starve when the means are there to feed them. There's some easy ones, right? Stop cluttering space. You're blocking our view, right? Like that type of stuff. But what else? The question continues in my head is aliens probably would not share the same values as us at all. You see in science fiction with Star Trek introduced in The Next Generation, the Borg, all right? And so, assimilate or be destroyed, right? Resistance is futile. So, maybe the aliens don't give a damn about us killing each other. Maybe they don't give a damn about people starving. Maybe they don't care at all. Maybe it's a warning of sorts. Maybe it's, coordinates, a cosmic code. Maybe it's the key to the Akashic record that they're trying to give us our own information. Let us figure it out ourselves. Who knows? These are some of the thoughts that have kind of just crossed my mind. Again, as you know, we get together and drink the maybe juice on this show and just consider all the possibilities. And like I said, if you want to say, Michael, strange, this is just some natural cosmological thing happening out there in the universe, I'm okay with that too. It doesn't always have to be the crazy way out there. But this is called Troubled Minds after all. And, well, that's what we do a little bit. So a little bit of the maybe juice never hurt anybody. So that's what's on my mind tonight. And so what are your thoughts on this? If you were an alien civilization and you were frantically trying to dial Earth, very much like it seems like with this 1,600 plus fast radio bursts happening in 47 days from the same location, by the way. It's not spread all over the sky. They're coming from the same spot. That's the weird part, right? That's another one of the weird things about this. So then what? What would you try and tell humans? If you were going to tell Earth about itself, what would you tell Earth about itself? And that's the question tonight. If you want to be part of the show, love to hear from you. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Got a couple folks in the caller queue here. Let's go to the Night Stalker. What's up, Derek in Massachusetts? How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike. Great show.
Thank you. I actually was like, yeah, that's it. We're going to do that tonight. It was one of those moments before we started.
It's
tonight.
a cool one. Joke on my mind, Roland. First, my first thought is I was kind of looking around and trying to find some kind of memes for like aliens sending signals to us like frantically, and I stumbled onto one being like, "How come you keep picking us up and probing us?" And it's like, because you send us a mixtape and those nude photos. Like, what do you expect? So imagine it's just we sent them those nudes, they finally got them, and now they're just drunk dialing us from outer space. Waiting for us to pick up.
Right, which of course, for the folks that don't know, was the Carl Sagan disc they sent into space. It had, what was it, Louis Armstrong on it, and it had nudes. It had naked pictures of humans and our DNA code, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's an invitation, if you ask me,
Right,
but,
exactly. Yeah, all they needed was a glass of wine and a nice warm dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But a joke on my mind going with the Lovecraftian old ones, and it makes me think that, like, imagine these radio signals aren't any type of communication, really. They're not trying to like tell us anything. They're not a code, which most likely they are. Like, that's the most likely scenario, and I'm excited to hear some takes about what the possible code could mean. But as far as like some kind of scary scenario, what if it's something to like turn on these giant robot monsters that this super old alien race is buried in the core of like a bunch of planets around the galaxy? It's like to start this invasion to turn on these giant monsters, kind of like a War of the Worlds type thing, where the aliens go in via the lightning into these monsters that these giant robots that they'd already built like thousands of years earlier. Imagine it's like that. They're trying to. It's like an alarm clock. They're trying to wake something up.
Yeah, interesting. So maybe like people suggested in the chat a little bit earlier, is that they're telling the aliens to clear out that are here. It's their warning signal. There's something going on, waking up the Cthulhu from the ocean and things like this. Like,
yeah. I mean, they can decipher, but it wouldn't be for them. It'd just be like, it's just the programmer of this giant monster inside the core being like, time to wake up, like. Wake, slow, rise, my Frankenstein, and then something erupts. We get this seismic activity, and the earth starts shaking, and volcanoes exploding, and all kinds of stuff, which is happening, in reality. So you wonder, like, something rolling around inside the planet. Yeah. Or also, like, we only see such a small band of the electromagnetic spectrum. Like, we could be getting blasted by some kind of cosmic waves that. The only piece of it that we can actually detect could just be radio waves, and it could be something else that could be having some kind of impact that we can't even calculate, or something that like could be causing earth changes, or for all we know, we have like this countless junk DNA and stuff, and these human bodies and our DNA strands and stuff just seem to be like receivers of messages. So maybe it's something like less of like a language type code and more of something to like an activation type signal, like a signal of turning something on, like sending some kind of like, if there is some type of ancient race that is spreading across the universe, like one of the methods they would do it is to like seed the universe with life and like seed it with like DNA strands that would be able to receive some type of message like this, that in 10 million years.
You just cut out for just a little bit there. It cut you off, your last sentence. Test 1, 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? All right, you're back. You got cut
sorry.
off. You cut off. Your last
can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You're good. Your last thought was cut.
Sorry.
You're good.
We did I lose you?
You're cool. You were just talking about waking something up there with some sort of signal.
Yeah, just like, did you get the thing about the DNA strands and that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
the panspermia. Did you get that part?
That, I think that's what got interrupted when you were saying that. You started that and then it cut.
Oh, okay. Well, so the idea that there could be some kind of like ancient race that's like spreading across the universe and like sending like DNA strands out in order to like bud life into like people in the entire galaxy. And then and if they don't care about time, they just type in the code, it's like start sending the signals one after another, and then all of a sudden some transformation happens or something. We like something in our DNA wakes up, or we like all of a sudden assimilate then into the Borg. Like it like brings us into the hive. You know, it turns something on that's latent in us. You know, like it could. I'm thinking it's like, what if it's not a message? What if it's has some kind of like function? It's like a functionary type of code. You know.
Interesting, yeah. So it's built in. Whatever people were saying that in the chat a little bit too, like kind of the Anunnaki story. Maybe it's a signal they've been visiting forever, so it's a signal to turn something on, something like this. I like it, man. So, but maybe it's a biological signal as such, is what you're describing. Who knows, man?
Yeah, something like that. Like because like we are transmitters, you know. So just the idea that they're using radio signals, like they could be using it just because they know that it's something that we are looking for, or because it serves some kind of like the reason why we are transmitters the way that we are is because it's designed to receive this future signal that is finally coming. I mean, and could change our environment or us like as a whole, you know, something weird like that. Or my favorite one is to, instead of the call of Cthulhu is calling Cthulhu, trying to make something into your God communication.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
think what would be a message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I losing it again?
Yeah, you're cutting out like crazy. You got a storm.
I'm sorry. I'll hang up. I'll try to get better service and call you back later. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, all good. Appreciate the call, my man. That's Derek in Massachusetts. I'm not sure if they got a storm going on, but we got issues. Daryl, you're up. If you want to be on the show, let me know. Type in the chat, please. We'll put you on. All right, so great stuff, Derek. Sorry we had to cut you off there with the weird signal, but apparently Derek's actual transmission is being interfered with by, what are we talking about tonight? Yeah, over 1,000 cosmic explosions in 47 days detected by... That's right. this actual thing going on. To be precise, 1,652 fast radio bursts detected, coming from the exact same spot in 47 days, directly aimed at Earth. So, let's say that call it a coincidence that literally Derek, the Night Stalker, Derek in Massachusetts, has called on this show dozens of times, and not once has he ever had a weird connection until tonight. Weird. James has it right. Night Stalker knows too much. They're cutting him off. They're like, no. You don't let the secrets out. Yeah. So this is the thought tonight. We're considering all this weird stuff with these radio signals coming from Earth. Again, fast radio bursts is what they're called, and it's unprecedented because they found ones that are single and they found ones that are repeating in small doses. Right? Like again, like I said, once every couple days type thing, but it's milliseconds. Right? These things are super short. But this one in particular, the reason why it's so crazy and why we're talking about it tonight, it's super unprecedented for us because it's like we're being spam called. It's like there's something up there in the sky definitely trying to get our attention. And clearly, right, if we didn't have radio telescopes and the technology we have, we wouldn't be able to decipher this at all. So maybe it's a call to... to test us, to see if we are technologically advanced enough to actually decipher the message. First to pick it up, and then possibly to decipher it. And maybe it's a test. Maybe this is a test of the Galactic Emergency Broadcast System, like Derek, the Night Stalker, described earlier in the chat. I don't know. And this is why we do this, because there's a whole lot of ideas here. A whole lot of weirdness to this, and who knows? It could be a lot of that. And again, like I said, clearly we have to keep in mind that this thing might be a naturally occurring thing, and the rest of that. What's up, Daryl? Are you ready? If you're ready, we'll bring you on the show. But so that's the thing. I don't know what are your thoughts on this? If you were, this is what got my mind moving tonight. And if you were an alien species trying to contact Earth frantically like this, what would you tell us? What would be the message to Earthlings? Again, and it opens up a whole other string of questions, including, do you think aliens would have a similar morality as people? Do you think that, millions of people dying or starving or being murdered or thrown in concentration camps would give them pause at all? Do you think they'd give a damn about us? So that's the question, right? It kind of makes me wonder if, what's really going on with this? So like I said, I ask you to drink some maybe juice with me tonight. Put on your dreaming cap, tuck a little tinfoil in there, and consider that maybe we're being contacted. Maybe this is first contact, and it's from maybe a cloaked mothership in the Oort cloud, and not from somewhere thousands of light years away sort of situation. Because as we know, right, if we're talking about interstellar space and sending even at the speed of light, the distances are so vast it takes thousands or millions of years to get anywhere. So yeah, right. I don't know, and that's like I said, I'm willing to consider all these things, because why the hell not? Truth seems to be stranger than fiction most times these days, as have been proven by all of the conspiracies that we've kind of woven together, and they're all coming true. It's weird. Yeah. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? If you were an alien civilization, you had to tell us this message. It was frantic. You were trying to get a hold of us again. 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days. Do you think there's a code embedded here? Do you think it's some sort of binary? Do you think there's some sort of maybe, who knows, a sacred geometry in the code? Some sort of, very much like they did with Spielberg and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when the flying saucer shows up, and Project Serpo and that whole thing. They communicated through music. They communicated through tones, through frequency. So is this maybe something like that going on? Pretty weird stuff. So I love to... maybe juice is as non-alcoholic as you need it to be. Yes, my friend. Definitely. All right. So it is legal in your jurisdiction. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right. So what are your thoughts on this? What's up, Sherry over on Rockfin says, a war signal to another race. Oh, geez. Let's hope not. Am I breaking up? Oh, is it my? Oh, yeah, that was Derek breaking up. My bad. What's going on, guys? Kelly, how you doing? I see you there. Just hanging out, talking about our weirdness tonight and these fast radio bursts. Do you think that there's actually something to this? It is unprecedented on a pretty large scale. It's not like, where they found two that was kind of maybe, doing its thing. And you found 3 or 4 of them repeating, right? That's not this at all. It's, again, 1,647 days. All right. That's how many of these things happen, over 1,600. So we have a problem. Don't we have a problem here? I think we do. We have one more crisis of cosmology, because maybe this is actually first contact of sorts. And you're good, Derek. You're good. It happens to the best of us, man. And by the way, maybe remember, like I said, I'm not even kidding. Derek has called in the show dozens of times, no exaggeration, and not one time ever has he had a weird connection. Ever. But tonight, we're talking about these 1,600 plus radio signals hitting the Earth in 47 days, and suddenly, Derek actually has a connection issue on the Discord tonight. So I wonder, what's up? What's up, guys? ET phoned home? ET, maybe ET phoned home and they're answering him. They're coming to get him. They're coming to pick him up. Who knows? So what are your thoughts on this? Like I said, clearly we can't, I don't presume to know any sort of alien motivations. I don't know. I don't know if there were alien civilizations, what they might hold dear as values, whether they would care about us or not. It's kind of, many times people have described the alien as, seeing us as maybe like the anthill. Like we walk by the anthill, pay it no mind. There's no way we could really ever communicate with ants. They don't give a damn about us as long as we don't step on them, that type of stuff. And so we just kind of do our thing. They just kind of do their thing. And so we're so far different than an ant that we're never going to be compadres. We're never going to be having dinner together. And so maybe that's the thing with aliens as well. Maybe at some point they're so far advanced that it's folly to even consider that they're anything like us. It might be so alien in not just the term itself, but their notion of us and the planet we live on. So that's what's on my mind tonight as we consider 1,600 plus fast radio bursts in 47 days. Is there a signal coming from the cosmos? Are they trying to tell us something? And if so, what is it? you want to be part of the show tonight, love to hear from you. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. More alien signals, maybe juice, and you. After the break. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are streaming on Rockfin, D-Live, YouTube, and Twitter, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, and we're taking your phone calls. Tonight, we're talking about, yep, that's right, fast radio bursts. Well, they didn't seem to be anything really too out there because it was they were non-repeating at first, and the ones they found were sort of repeating, on very limited scales. But then suddenly, boom, something happened. We have 1,652 radio bursts, fast radio bursts coming to Earth in 47 days from the same spot. So what in the world is going on? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are they trying to send us a message? And if they are, put yourself in the shoes of an alien civilization. If you were frantically dialing Earth, trying to let them know something was on the way, what would it be? Would it be, I don't know, something political? Would it not be something political? Would it be, I don't know, what would it be? That's the question, right? As I kind of go through all the ideas here, hear your guys' thoughts on this. I don't know. Love to hear what you guys think. Is this, again, some sort of just a natural phenomenon? And I'm okay with that. That's okay. If you believe that's what this is, that's okay. But you got to consider, right? It's a big universe out there after all. And as I said previously, truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. Actually, many times recently, by the way, in the last, since March of 2020, wink, wink, if you know what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, so here we are, considering all the things. So you tell me, if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Are they coming after us? Are they coming to tell us something? Is this a warning? Is it information? Is this the keys to the Akashic record? And we're able to find out the answers ourselves. I don't know. I'm willing to consider all these things. And yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go to our good friend Daryl in New York. Daryl, welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
Trying to get our attention.
Uh-oh.
And clearly,
All right. Damn, I'm so good on the radio. I just don't like hearing myself back. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about the good part. I'm not kidding about hearing myself back. That drives me nuts. All right, Daryl, please mute the stream, and we'll put you on in just a sec. All right, James says, watch, it'll be politics are evil, but no government will want to hear that, and it'll be the thing that unites the world. Exactly right. All right, let's see if we got Daryl muted. You there, Daryl? Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Can you hear me, Daryl? Daryl in New York. Welcome to the show.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello. Loud and clear.
I hear you. I hope you can.
Yeah,
you hear me. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Apparently, the alien signal is not blocking you from talking to me right now, so we're good. Go right ahead. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
I'm sure. I love Night Stalker's concept of the. That was great. Maybe they're going to activate some DNA and do some kind of terraforming or whatever. It's so clever. But I think the aliens didn't want him to tell us, because they certainly did give him some interference,
He's tapped in. They know it. He's got the answer. They're like, no, we're not going to let this go down right this moment. Yeah. Lots of crazy stuff to think about here. So I don't know. What's your theory on this? Do you think this is just a naturally occurring thing, even though it seems so wildly different from anything we've found yet? Or do you think there's something more alien involved here?
Well, I'll tell you something. I've been hearing these booms, and it would be remiss not to mention maybe those sonic booms that people are hearing and have been hearing since at least 2015 all over the world. But I've been hearing them lately like a kiss in the sky. Like I can hear them in the morning, and I'm always like looking to see if there's like a fireball that hit New York somehow, because I can hear these explosions, but they're so distant. I don't know if anybody else hears them. But I can hear them. It's very I don't know if it's those explosions or what time they occur. I would like to know, but I think they're in the late morning usually. And what should we call it? Linda Moulton Howe once mentioned that there were these radio bursts that sounded similar to these, but they were the sounds of like some kind of nova exploding, or some kind of explosion of a real sun, or some kind of nevis or whatever. And she said the difference between those sounds and this sounds is these are contained sounds. The difference between those explosions and these are absolutely contained. And she's perplexed on what they can be. So she's been studying these. So there's definitely a difference between the random explosions of some kind of star exploding or dying, creating black holes sort of phenomena that has a long lasting effect after the initial explosion. These don't. These are totally contained, but as powerful. That's what she had mentioned. And the third thing I wanted to mention was maybe they want to just cover up something that's going on right now. Is this going to be the alien, invasion to cover up like the failure? Or, if they want to shake the focus off of the Biden administration? Because, something, if there really was something coming, they would be blocking us from talking about it. We'd be censored. You know what I'm saying? They were censoring this kind of stuff not that long ago. You couldn't talk about UFOs, or you couldn't talk about Morgellons, like a lot of stuff that we could talk about now that you couldn't before. On the vein of conspiracy theories. So now I just wonder, if this is how true it is, if it's going to cover up something less important, and it's not going to be true, like a fake invasion, to, quell the focus off of what's going on. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, so actually Derek adds, the Night Stalker adds in the chat, mysterious booms in New Hampshire and Massachusetts last week as well. And I think that's the thing, right? Maybe some of us can hear this happening. Maybe this is related. Maybe as these things are kind of descending and maybe coming into the atmosphere, some of us are maybe more predisposed, hardwired to hear these sounds. I don't know. I don't hear anything strange, but to be perfectly honest, I spend a lot of time with headphones on, so maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm missing it.
I'm telling you, I've been hearing them for a long time. I mean, some were so loud. They say, oh, it's coming from inside the Earth. I've never thought it was coming from inside the Earth. I've always felt it was outside. It was coming from above, not some kind of explosion from an earthquake or something, acting together. It's definitely something. If you were in New York, I promise you would hear it. It's every morning. I should maybe make a recording and just see if I could catch it on audio. It's every morning, and it's alarming enough for me to wonder, a fireball coming out. It sounds to me like some kind of a fireball, passing through air fast, or maybe a meteor. And they're mentioning, this is meteor season again. We've got lots of meteors coming through, so it's possible this is part of that. But the thing is, wait, if it's a steady barrage of noise, it makes it not natural or natural. I'm not sure now. If it was on a regular beat, I would make it normal, or it would make it man-made.
Yeah, that's a good question, and we don't know yet, and that's the bizarre part of this. Also, somebody else in the chat, Singeman, says it sounds like you're describing an implosion sound from what you're describing there. Yeah,
exactly, implosion. Word.
Yeah, interesting. So a couple things I want to point out. So I was distracted by hearing myself on your stream there, so I didn't get to say this when you first got on. But happy birthday, Daryl. Happy 35th birthday.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for spending your time with us on your special day. Another thing here. This is really funny from the chat. You're going to like this. Somebody said that aliens won't interfere with someone calling from New York City. They know better than to mess with a New Yorker.
God bless you. Yeah, what's up? They're scared of us.
There you go. Maybe that's what's going on. Great stuff in the chat, guys. Always amazing thoughts, great funny comments, and that's what this is all about. Yeah, I don't know. I think I guess as we've talked about this before in terms of like an alien race or species or whatever you want to call it, it's would their values be anything close to what we are? Or, it seems to me like I would say not even remotely close. Like, there are things we value on this planet that they would probably just consider nothing, right? Us primitive caveman types that whatevs, right? Like, get over that. You people are stupid, Seems that way to me.
It's an awesome question, Michael. What if they are totally like, let's say they live like for thousands of years and they look at us like we're just a bunch of bugs, we have a short lifespan. Like they don't respect our lifespan like we don't respect an ant's lifespan, They could be so different that they value their lives so much more or so much less. Who knows, If they live long enough to commute here from thousands of miles away, which of course they probably don't really commute that far. They just know how to bend space and time, if you just manage that. I'm sure they figured that part out. And they figured out how to not get radiation burns from, traveling in space so much. Who knows? Maybe they've been airborne for thousands of years and they're just desperate to land on something they could live on. Who knows? Maybe they just value the air we breathe and we're just like, totally taking for granted certain things. You're right. They have different values. They don't have anything. They might not have any emotions. They might not have any sensitivity. They might be all sociopaths, or all empaths and really, really kind.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the weird stuff to consider. And people say too, like, you talk to or listen to Dr. Stephen Greer, and he says that that they're all benevolent. The aliens out there, they want to help us and all the rest of this stuff. But I don't know, like that would mean that they value a human value system, right? As extraterrestrials. It doesn't seem likely to me. Not that they, again, like I said, we do all kinds of sick stuff as humans, right? But and get away with it because I always say that to be a human being, it's basically we're a walking contradiction, right? Like literally every single thing we have to twist ourselves in knots just to justify the things we believe. But maybe they don't. Maybe they're just like, well, if you die, you die, and that's that, right? Because maybe they're not afraid of that. Like again, like we're still in that kind of primitive consciousness stage where we are. I would think that at some point it becomes not something to be afraid of. I don't know. It's just an odd thought that maybe they don't consider anything even close to what we consider as conversation topics. Like they would be, they would tune out super fast and be bored with our conversation tonight, and then send in the death squads.
Right? They're so advanced that we are so primitive. We might as well have a bone in our nose and a spear in our hand, and dragging women by their hair into our caves.
Exactly. Your phone's cutting out, breaking out. Maybe they're getting to you, Derek.
Oh, you see, as soon as you start talking about them, they get sensitive.
Right, exactly.
So maybe they are sensitive. They are sensitive. They don't like to be talked about. They're very insecure. Maybe they're like the worst kind of insecure date you'd ever go on. They'd be really annoying and start stalking us. Who knows? Maybe they are stalking us. This is what they do. Stalk the planet, and they're really annoying, and they drunk date you, they drunk call you, like Night Stalker said.
the drunk dial. What if they, like the Stargate, they left it dialed into Earth, and just somebody kept spamming the button, somebody fell asleep at the desk, and we're just getting the dial in. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're considering. You're the best, Daryl. Anything else while we got you on the phone here?
I'm so happy. I'd rather be with you than to be with the best people in the planet.
Thank you. That's very nice. That's so kind of you. That's so.
What Bergerac said.
I do remember. I do remember the quote, and I appreciate it very much. You're the best. Again, happy birthday. Thanks for spending your time with us. It's always a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll catch you a little later tonight. Okay. Perfect. All right, there we go. Looking for your thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Again, the topic of tonight is this weirdness, right? This weirdness is going on. Thank you for the call, Daryl. Happy birthday again. Something really wants our attention. One object released 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days, which again is unprecedented in fast radio burst, basically ever. Like the first one was discovered in 2007. They were singled kind of one-off type stuff, and the ones that did repeat were just very short repeats, every couple days type thing, right? Not being spammed like this, because again, 1,600 plus in 47 days is a lot. And let's see, there's more in this article. That the craziest part. Previous observations determined that it repeats on a 157-day cycle that consists of 67-day inactive phase, followed by a 90-day period where it would repeatedly emit intense radio flares. And so let's see. Okay. That's the wrong one. Sorry. Anyway, it's in. I'm not going to read this. It's too late in the night to be trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But so basically, the thing is this, right? It appears that something's trying to get a hold of us. That's what seems like is going on here. And it like I said, it kind of made me consider not just if something's trying to get a hold of us. What are they trying to say? And so I thought it kind of doesn't matter, even if it's not. It's a fantastic thought experiment to consider. What would they be trying to say to us? If you were an alien civilization and you were frantically trying to reach Earth, spam dialing us, as it were, through the cosmos, what would the message be to humanity that you would want to spread? And I think that's the question tonight. That's what was on my mind, and that's really what spawned the idea for the show. Because there's better questions here. Sometimes it's fun to put on your speculation hat instead of your science hat and just speculate. Just consider how broad the universe is and how different an alien species might be, and do they actually even consider us as even worthwhile? I think that would be probably one of those weird things where maybe not, like the ant, the ants to us analogy sort of thing, where we just kind of don't care, like even like the queen ant, right? Like we're not trying to communicate with the queen, are we? The queen ant, we could still give a damn about that. So it would be like, think about it in terms of the aliens trying to communicate with our, the president. I mean, well, the whole other challenge there, if you know what I'm saying. But, in general terms, let's say in normal times we had a president that could communicate. Well, maybe you have to go back to JFK for that to happen. But still, you get my point. Is that there's maybe they wouldn't care anyway. Maybe, the old alien trope of take me to your leader may not be that at all. They don't give a damn. They'd contact you or me, or something like this, or not care about you or me at all. And that's what's on my mind tonight. So what do you think? What do you think if you were an alien civilization and you had this one moment to tell Earth something, anything, and you were dialing them like crazy? What would it be? What would it be? And that's what's on my mind tonight. We still have a few minutes if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the show, and you can tell us your thoughts on this. Had some great ideas already. We were talking about maybe some intergalactic marketing, like drink your Ovaltine, eat more veggies, I don't know, more Space Force. Like, who knows, right? Like, who knows what's going on? Or again, maybe this is something that has nothing to do with it at all. Maybe this is, again, a message to the ultra-terrestrials that are here. Maybe it's a message to dimensional aliens in the area to clear out because, I don't know, Apophis is on the way, if you know what I'm saying. Which, of course, in Stargate would be the bad guy, but in here on Earth would be the asteroid Apophis. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I think that's the weird part here is, like I said, drinking the maybe juice and considering all the things. What would they tell us? Like I said, it's easy. I think it's easy as people you could probably make a top 10 or a top 20 list pretty easily of, what's up, buddy? We can start using F-bombs in about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. So we're on the fringe for another 8 minutes or so, 7 or 8 minutes, and then we will click off for a third hour. And then that's where we stop wearing pants and we let our hair down. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing pants anyway. Because remember, it's hashtag no shorts, or sorry, no pants till November. Because it's Vegas and we wear shorts most of the year. So anyway, I don't know, like that's what's going on. That's what's on my mind tonight. And just considering all these things, there's more, right? So let's just burn through this real quick as we finish up. This isn't the only weird thing that happened. You guys remember this back in the day? This old, we have messages from outer space. They're all over the place, right? Remember the old WOW signal? You guys remember this? Yeah. They're saying that maybe they solved this original WOW signal. If you guys remember this back in, here we go. let's just do a little bit of this. So the WOW signal was received August 15th, 1977 by the Big Ear Radio Telescope at Ohio State University. Astronomer Jerry R. Eman discovered the anomaly a few days later. Completely baffled and surprised by the result, he circled the reading and wrote the comment "wow" on its side. The WOW signal was born. And everybody's familiar with the actual, there's the printout, and there's the signal, and you can see it, and it doesn't look like all the 1s and 2s and 3s and little things. It seems like a chain of events. The 6EQUJ5 circled it, wrote "wow." There's your WOW signal. And so, so it was born, and the mysterious narrowband radio signal appeared to come from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and remains the strongest candidate for an alien radio transmission ever detected. Even Ohio State University Radio Observatory Director Jack Krause wrote in a letter to Carl Sagan, "The WOW signal is highly suggestive of extraterrestrial intelligent origin, but little more can be said until it returns for further study." Until it repeats, right? And so, notably and interestingly, the WOW signal is probably the most famous, unsolved actual signal that came to Earth. But so there's some theories now. First, there was a theory that said that it was two comets that caused this WOW signal, but I think they debunked that one. And now here's another one that said they just solved this, and this is in 2017. And let's see. It's okay. So this was the two comets that they said. These comets, known as 266P Christensen and 335P Gibbs, have clouds of hydrogen gas millions of kilometers in diameter surrounding them, and the WOW signal was detected at 1,420 megahertz, which is the radio frequency hydrogen naturally emits. Notably, the team has verified that the comets were within the vicinity at the time, and they report that the radio signals from 266P Christensen matched those from the WOW signal. But I think this was debunked after the fact, and it's still a mystery. It's still an actual mystery of what this WOW signal was all the way back in 1977. Because, of course, they can't really say what it was until it repeats like they described. But now we have these fast radio bursts. And some of them are repeating in small doses, like I said, but this one is not. This one is 1,647 days. And so, well, maybe we're actually going to get to the point where we decide that this actually is some sort of actual first contact. Can you imagine, just like, again, go back to some of the fiction, some Independence Day, right, the original there, where the first thing they got was a radio signal. It was some sort of signal that was interfering with their satellites, just like we had interference in Daryl's and Derek's phone calls tonight. Wink, wink. Who knows what's going on? Who knows what's really happening out there? I don't know. Far be it from me to suggest that there's some sort of alien invasion about to happen. Like I said, we drink the maybe juice, but we're not into the fear porn here. So that's not what I'm saying. So if you took that from the conversation tonight, that's not what I meant. we're gonna make it, guys, and that's what's on my mind. So love to hear your thoughts on this. We're gonna keep on trucking. If you're listening to us on the Fringe FM, here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna wind this down and finish up in just a minute or two here, but we're gonna go a third hour of Troubled Minds. So we always go 2 hours on Fringe and then a third hour off the radio. So we don't have those radio type interruptions with commercials and whatnot. So we will continue doing that. So if you're listening on the Fringe FM, you guys know what to do. Stay tuned for Joe Roop Lighting the Void. But if you're into this conversation, of course, we're going to continue doing it. You can catch both, by the way, and just catch this on the archive. And, we have that technology these days. So that's what's on my mind. All this other crazy stuff, these fast radio bursts, this repeating signal, what's actually happening? Is there more to this, or is there less to this, and what's really going on? So as we wrap this up tonight, you guys know what's up. And that is this. This is Troubled Minds. My name's Michael Strange. And like I said, stay tuned on Fringe FM for Joe Roop Lighting the Void. Otherwise, any other platform, that would be the podcast feed, that would be DLive, YouTube, Rockfin, or Twitter. Stay tuned for a third hour of Troubled Minds. We're going to keep talking about this. There's more with the WOW signal. There's more with these two comets. There's more with, considering aliens and how they might not even have a value system anywhere close to what we could conceive of. So you tell me. It's not about this. It's about what you believe. It's not about me telling you anything. It's about us asking questions. So thanks for hanging out with us. You guys are the best. As we finish, you know the drill. Be sure, be strong, must be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night. Oops. All right, guys. We got more Troubled Minds on the way. One more hour coming up. And we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're talking about these fast radio bursts. We're getting spam called from the cosmos. What does this mean? Looking to hear your thoughts. And no commercials from here on out. So we got time for you. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Come back and read some chat, hang out, take phone calls, and get your thoughts on the rest of this. Thanks again for all the phone calls so far. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you shortly. Be right back. 2-minute break. More Troubled Minds coming up. All right. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. You guys in the chat are super hilarious tonight. We always got some comedians out there, but funny jokes. Let's spend some time with some chat. Looking to hear from you. We're talking about these radio signals, these fast radio bursts, and we got this one that seems to be spam calling Earth. If you were an extraterrestrial civilization and you had a message that was so urgent you had to spam call Earth, what would that message be? And again, it kind of opens up a whole other line of questions here. Like I'm always open to the most obvious Occam's razor version. Well, this is probably some sort of a natural phenomenon that we haven't really described yet or discovered, and we're just discovering this for the first time. But what if it's not? And that's what the show's about. We kind of live in the fringes of that. What if it's not? And so what are your thoughts? If you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And like I said, just going to read some chat, hang out, and hopefully take your phone calls. So if you got thoughts on this, love to hear them. Let's go to over hashtag No Pants November. No pants till November. No pants till November. Shorts only. Let's see. Tam Bam, what's up on how you doing? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being with us tonight. Tam Bam says, I heard that Earth sent a help signal to the universe, and that's why we have so many UFO sightings since then. Aliens have responded, right? Maybe. And there we go. How you guys doing? And then also, let's see. Robert says, perhaps it's a signal from a monolith, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey, that evolved mankind and is now updating our evolution. Yeah, like kind of like Night Stalker described a little bit, right? Something to do with the DNA and maybe waking things up or changing things. Maybe the age of Aquarius has arrived because the signal is telling us to, saying, well, okay, you can now level up. What's up, Tambiam says, can the aliens just arrive now? I'm tired. I'm not. I feel okay. My intermittent sleep, weird sleep schedule the last couple days. The full moon does that, doesn't it? Don't we have a full moon? Yeah. What's up, Sonny Zacatecas says, how you doing? They're not signals, they're sounds of the galaxy. That's alive only. What's up? How you doing? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out with us, Fred. Have a good night. Thanks for all that good stuff. Sleep well. Go Dodgers. I know it's gonna get his goat. Go Dodgers. All right. Let's see. What else? Sojourner says would be interested if they posted a recording of the bursts signals online so we could hear it for ourselves. I couldn't find that. I actually looked for that because I wanted to play them. But there seems to be something where we're clearly, right, they're either hoarding the information or it's behind a scientific paywall. Hopefully they'll release it. If you guys can find that, maybe I just missed it. I did look, and I couldn't find it. So if you guys, I think the problem is because they're milliseconds long, so they'd have to extend the time frame on it, and so therefore distort the actual sounds. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. What's up, Jennifer? How you doing? Thanks for being here with us tonight. Who did I miss? Well, Lazy Guy X. How you guys doing? What's up, guys? Who else did we miss? Yeah, I like the movie Contact. Definitely. Matt says, what if they already translated it and are in communication with them? With who? With who? I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see. Just reading the chat. What are you guys' thoughts on this? 702-957-1037. I got some substitute teacher stuff I could do. If you guys aren't going to call, you guys know the drill. I can guilt trip like an MFer. You'll see. The Night Stalker says 47 degrees on my ride home this morning. Yeah, exactly. It's been cold. It was almost that damn cold in Vegas. Like, what the hell? Sometimes pants. Yeah, right. No, I don't blame you. Living up near Boston. Yeah, pants come early. Pants season definitely comes early. Let's see. What's going on? Let's see. Sleep schedule. No, thanks. No pants November thing. I thought we were all supposed to be Donald Duck in it. No, no. Shorts. Not. No pants till November because we wear shorts in Vegas. All right. So let's do this. Like I said, nobody's going to call. We're going to play some of this. I got some substitute teacher stuff, which means I can kind of sip it and kick it like you guys. Check this out. I came prepared. This is the WOW signal, and let's hear a little bit about this from this fantastic YouTube channel. This is from an individual named Fraser Kane, and he's talking about the WOW signal. It's not that long, but we'll chop it into a couple pieces. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys. So 702-957-1037. Here we go.
Radio astronomer Jerry Iman was looking through observation data from the Big Ear radio telescope. He was searching for evidence that alien civilizations might be trying to communicate using radio waves as an alternative to metal probes. Specifically, that aliens would be communicating in a portion of the radio spectrum that mimics hydrogen. The search generated an immeasurable mountain of remarkably boring data. Nothing but the background radio transmissions of the universe. But then he saw a data signal so interesting and unique that he circled it and wrote, "Wow," in a red pen. A red pen! There was an exclamation point, but only one though, so don't get too excited. Eamon circled the characters 6EQUJ5, distinguishing them from all the other 1s and 2s on the field of data. What does this code mean? Is it a cryptic message from an alien civilization? Why does it start with a 6 and then end in a 5? What are they trying to tell us? From the moment that Eamon red penned in WOW, this has been known as the WOW signal. And it's been the cause of much speculation by SETI researchers and alien fans, and confusing for World of Warcraft players around the world. For starters, it's important to understand that the Big Ear Radio Observatory didn't actually receive these characters in a message. The observatory was listening to radio signals coming from a region of the sky in the constellation Sagittarius, near the M55 globular cluster. Each character on this chart corresponds to about 10 seconds of listening. If the telescope picked up a signal, it recorded the intensity with a single character. The scale went from 1 to 9 and then through A to Z. And the highest was U in the middle. So when you look at this chart, what you're actually seeing is mostly no radio signal, and then the signal gets brighter and brighter as the Big Ear's dish passed whatever was generating the signal, and then it gets dim again.
Okay, good enough. We got some more of that if you guys are interested. Like I said, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? So radio signals from the sky. And going back to the WOW signal that this individual is talking about back in 1977, well, have they been trying to contact us? And now we have these fast radio bursts that we're actually trying to figure out. And what does it mean? And kind of the fun thought experiment that I had today is what if they are trying to frantically reach us? And if they are, what are they trying to say? And that's what's on my mind tonight. Love to hear from you. 702-957-1037. I came prepared in the second half to play some video so I could kick it and just listen like you guys do as I sip my cold beer. All right, so we do have Kelly on the line, our good friend Kelly from Colorado, old friend of the show, the very first caller, I believe, to Troubled Minds. What's up, Kelly? Whenever you're ready, buddy. Love to hear your thoughts on what's going on tonight with these radio signals. How are you, my friend?
Good, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing okay. Just hanging out, talking about weird stuff, man. It's hard to get better than that.
It don't get better than that.
Right? There you go. Especially with good friends. Absolutely not. You are 100% correct. So what are your thoughts on this? I'm sure you've heard of the WOW signal and the rest of this stuff, but this one seems to kind of be off the rails a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I didn't really catch which one is this one, because I actually seen a couple of these posts about now that our ears getting bigger with these new radio or with these new array systems that we're using. You know what I mean? They're pretty big now. I think China's got one of the biggest ones. But yeah,
I can fill you in real quick. So we got this one particular object in the night sky. We don't know exactly what it is just yet, but it actually released 1,652 fast radio bursts in 47 days. So that is it's kind of unprecedented, meaning that the other ones have been, the repeating ones they found thus far have not been anywhere that close to that active at all. So this one is kind of off the charts in terms of just activity. So I kind of thought it seems like we're being dialed, like something's trying to reach out, with sort of spamming us, like as you would expect to get our attention, something like that. So that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one I seen was kind of like that, but it was more of they're saying there's an actual they're surprised that, well, I wouldn't be surprised, but somehow some of these posts word them. But there was one actually, a real big one that's coming from our own solar system, or not our solar system, but our own galaxy. The ones, mostly ones are the ones they're saying they're outside of our galaxy, but did that one specify if it was in our galaxy or outside of our galaxy?
I'm not sure. I can double check this. I think haven't pinpointed this yet. I'll find out though. But so consider both, and then we'll talk about both here.
Yeah, well, the one inside of our galaxy, of course, we know how many stars are within the galaxy, so I mean that for me is not surprising at all. But ones that are actually seem to be aimed at our planetary system or our solar system. Kind of going towards what Night Stalker was saying, but not instead of radio waves going into for DNA. Maybe it's for like something they're sending radio waves out for information for feedback. You know what I mean? Maybe like all these drones that they got roaming around these planetary systems. Kind of like the one where we call the Black Knight satellite, or a Muamua, the one that came in and out. So maybe they're recalling information or asking for an update or something.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. Like people were saying that Carl Sagan sent that golden record out into the cosmos too. Maybe we're getting an answer now. Maybe somebody's spamming us. So they're saying, I found the answer here. So they're saying that they trace this to a dwarf galaxy. So it's not from our galaxies, from outside our galaxy is what they're telling us.
Okay. Yeah. No. All right. Well, through what mainstream science call that maybe that signal is old as hell. We're getting this burst finally reaching our solar system. Maybe it was sent out, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years ago.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, if you're, I don't know, the reason why you would send something out like that, that many and with that type of response, I don't know. Well, obviously they're not going to tell us what exactly, the signal is saying, because everything is supposedly broke down into ones and zeros, but specifically, I don't believe they're going to tell us yet. I believe anyway that I think they already know what it's saying. But if it is sent out, like, if we send something out, I don't know. It could be like a galactic ward that they need help, or maybe something that's maybe something natural, like their sun's about to explode. I don't know, something like that.
Like a distress call.
Yeah.
All right, and maybe it would make sense that clearly they're not reaching out to us. Maybe they missed their target, and maybe they're long since deceased, and this signal is now finally showing up. That's the weird part about it. It does seem frantic compared to some of these other ones. Like I said, if you guys do some digging, I did, and it is unprecedented because a lot of these fast radio bursts they've found to date just do not repeat like this. They just don't repeat in this volume. So there's something going on for sure with this. What it is, well, that's what we're here to figure out. We're here to talk about anyway. But yeah, it does make sense. Like some jokes earlier. Maybe a galactic, like the broadcasting system warning, something like that.
maybe we're catching a big galactic party going on. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Daedalus, what's up, says radio is too slow for intergalactic communication, and you're correct. That's definitely for sure. But that's kind of what we're talking about here. So if this was maybe a signal from extraterrestrials, we wouldn't necessarily be able to trace it back to where it came from, because let's say, like I described, what if this is like a mothership kind of cloaked in the Oort cloud sending this to us, And so we've chased back to that direction, but we don't know where that actually it's emanating from, right? I think that's probably the weirdness of this. So anyway, I don't know. What about Nibiru and that stuff, man? The Anunnaki. You think this? Some people suggested that maybe this is a signal to maybe wake up ultra-terrestrials, or as Night Stalker described, maybe something to do with a DNA change of not just us but other things that may be here on the Earth. Who knows? Something like that. I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
Well, if you want to go that way, then what's interesting about that is that, supposedly Nibiru is in our galaxy, not only in our galaxy but in our solar system itself. So if and they were highly advanced, so maybe it was actually, and if they're out there, mining, like asteroids or other planets like they did with Earth, maybe it was, a signal to their home planet here in Nibiru, that maybe that they're, distress signal or something, or it could be just, I don't know, like I said, who knows with that black light satellite, that's theirs or not, maybe, or other satellites throughout the solar system, it's kind of directed towards our galaxy. But again, our galaxies, man, there's, in every galaxy there's billions of stars, so who knows what, they're actually sending it out. Was we just in the way? You know what I mean? Because what are we really going to do? You know what I mean? So, as for us anyway, but like, some people did suggest that the Anunnaki, that it was a signal to them, because again, that planet is supposed to be in our solar system, so, but it's got a long elliptical orbit, so maybe, you never know.
Yeah, and once again, that's the weirdness of this. So okay, so think of it in terms of this, right? Instead of it's maybe what it is, let's just assume, for sake of conversation, that it is some sort of civilization trying to contact us. If you were an alien civilization trying to tell Earth something right now, this was kind of the original premise of the show tonight. What do you think is most critical that Earth needs to know in this moment? I think that's probably the more pertinent thought to us. Anyway.
Okay, for maybe Juice, this is what I would say it would be if you were sending out a signal. Okay, so, and not every life form is, we're on all different levels, of enlightenment or whatever we're trying to live this life, right? But, so we send out radio signals all the time when we first started. So maybe it's something that when they were first started, because just like the other person was saying, radio waves, it's just too primitive, to send something out. So if it was, maybe it was an old school signal, like again, like they're saying, finally that was sent out, I don't know, let's say millions of years ago, and it's finally hitting we're seeing it, just like they're saying about a star exploding or what. But if something like that sent out from that far and that frantic, maybe they're trying to warn us about an incoming species or a force or some kind. You know what I mean? Something that's been taking out planetary systems, you know what I mean, within like a planet eater, you know? Who knows that flying dragon planet eater is flying around and it's headed our way.
Yeah, well, again, if it's communication, who knows? It could be maybe bounced off a different. Who knows? I don't know. I think that's part of the thing. Like we kind of considered. Remember in Independence Day, the original one, that the first thing they actually detected was a radio signal. Right? They detected like that signal was first. It was that what do you say? Recycling to extinction was what Jeff Goldblum said in the movie there. So, right, like here we are, sort of really receiving this signal that's unprecedented. We can't really decode it. What does it mean? And I think that's the weirdness of this, is that before we saw an alien mothership, I think it's probably likely we would detect something like this, right? Even if radio signals may not be like a direct communication device, they may be emissions of some sort from like an advanced technology anyway. Maybe it's we're picking up their afterburners or their, who knows, their light speed engines or whatever the hell they're using, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and who knows, these things can not only just be radio signals, but, other frequencies that, we're actually with our technology is being able to detect these things now. Because before it was just radio waves, but now it's everything else, gamma rays, radio waves. You're talking about different frequencies, whatever that, could be put out. It could be lasers, lights. It could be anything kind of something that's, sending out throughout the galaxy. It could be, maybe we're missing tons of it, so that's why we had to update our stuff instead of just radio waves. And that's one probably now that we are detecting all these stuff that we're more capable of now.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So this actually came about because they just put a new data from a new telescope array, different countries combining efforts, and so it could be just that we're not used to picking this up because we're not looking for this particular thing, and so now suddenly, boom, maybe it's going to be all over the place. So that's why we'll keep an eye on this, as you know, right? As this stuff develops and changes, we'll talk about what it means, what the possibilities may be, because, well, like I said, nobody else is doing it. So we're going to put the world on our shoulders and the galaxy on our shoulders, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to do it anyway. So one of the other ideas too that Night Stalker there was talking about, which is pretty hilarious, which I just made the joke. Imagine if it's like a wake up call to like a monster here on Earth, like Cthulhu, right? So in the Cthulhu mythology, he's like one of the old ones that's kind of buried in the ocean, in the depths of the ocean. So what if it's like a wake up call to Cthulhu, like his Cthulhu's alarm clock?
Yeah, man, maybe could turning a certain, maybe like toss aircraft that's underneath the Sphinx.
The Sphinx, yeah.
Or could be like turning on shit, even the power grid that's been around the world with all these pyramids and shit. Maybe that's the tuning fork to turn all the shit on. Maybe they're needing that the power. You know what? It's kind of all right now. It's kind of like the thing you were talking about the other day or the other night, where they were saying that civilizations, how you can use the power of the sun or power of all the planets in your solar system or power in your galaxy. Maybe that is it's a signal to turn something on to where it's like for certain galaxies, or not galaxies, but certain solar systems to turn on their. To shut one off and then turn another one on, because, it's in that time frame, or or how people would say, how you trace stars, now we're, or even planets, how, astronomy, kind of like astronomy, where now we're in the sequence there, of our galaxy is, our part of the galaxy is in that sequence now. Or like the age, now that we're, like you're saying about Aquarius. So now we turn back on and these, another part of the galaxy turns back off.
Ah, interesting. It's like kind of trading signals from afar. So the timer would be the light years between here and there, right? So like the age of Aquarius would be what, like as an age changes, like the long count calendar, the Aztecs and all that, or I like to go back to that and say, well, it's like 36,000 years. So what if the signal is kicked back and forth, and we're able to detect this signal and use this as a catalyst for that change, and maybe it does kick the Enlightenment back and forth across the galaxy. Maybe there's only so much juju to go around, right? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like, like a big house. You're looking at like you were saying, if these intelligence can control a whole, turn on like power, to use the whole power of a galaxy, but not all at one time. But it's kind of like a house. You got to turn the lights off upstairs and then turn them on downstairs. Or it's just like that. You got to turn a certain section off on the galaxy, kind of like blinking lights. Where you're only using that section, and then you're shut this section off. You know what I mean? And then because the other ones have been storing power. These other parts of the solar systems or the galaxies have been storing the power, but now they're fully charged like a battery. So, these other ones are wearing down. You just shut off that one and then turn on the new battery, and it's got more energy.
Yeah, I like it. Who knows? Like, and again, right, we're sort of in the infancy of radio telescopes and the rest of this stuff. So all this stuff is, again, pretty much brand spanking new to humans. So who knows? Again, maybe this is some sort of galactic time scale, some sort of timekeeping device that does something like that. Like James said in the chat, as you described, like some sort of cosmic binary. When one part turns on, another turns off, like the ones and zeros, right? And these signals may be bouncing around, or what's making these things happen. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, but it's just pretty crazy that now. You know what? Like I said, some of these signals, kind of like that one you were talking about, like the movie where they had it was all mathematics, and we're starting to build it. We dropped we're supposed to build something. To drop something in the middle of something, and next I can't remember what movie that was. You guys were mentioning about it earlier, but yeah, it's kind of like that, who knows, man? But they ain't gonna tell anybody, not until they see what it is actually all about.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, we're just drinking some hefty maybe juice tonight, kind of considering what this could be or maybe. So, as always, right? Don't get too caught up in this, because we don't know. We don't know the answers either. As you know, like this is not the. I always say this isn't church, and so don't worry. you can go to bed tonight and sleep soundly. At least, well, not from anything we're saying anyway. but okay, all right. So I don't know. Other thoughts on this, my man? We're taking phone calls, guys. We're here with Kelly, our oldest friend on the show, first caller way back. I think he called back in the Phil Schneider show, and I remember talking to him and considering. He said, yeah, I believe Phil Schneider, and I was like, holy crap! Yeah. Remember that? That was a long ass time ago, bro.
Because that was, I had been down that rabbit hole like a few years back, but, the whole Phil Schneider thing, that one was, I don't know if you listen to him, some of the stuff he was talking about, not only besides that, but all the other information that, or knowledge that was given to him when he, I think that's what it was. It was like knowledge that was given to him. Because he talks about, I don't know, it's not anything about like, where he jumped off the ship and went back in time, but it was when he was back in time where he met like these people. They're called the wing makers, and they sent time capsules back into time. So like, because it was, he went to the future, but these time capsules are something for society, that they left, they kind of like. It's a crazy story though, man, because like these wing makers are actually an AI system and they run all these cities, and some of these cities now are like they float even over the oceans and stuff like that. But the wing makers are these AI, and I'm sorry about that, but they sent some time capsules back to help society moving into certain direction, because these AIs, went and they think that they need to change something in the past so they can get something that's already in their future or in their time frame. But they said the one they first found was over in like New Mexico desert, where an earthquake hit and it split open the mountain split, or fell, or rocks or part of the mountain fell off, and they had there was a cave system, and then they found it. But yeah, I don't know, man. If you ever get a chance, just check out him. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, Al Billick, right? Al Billick and the Wing Makers. Just check that out on YouTube. It's a pretty crazy story.
Okay, will do. Lots of rabbit holes that this stuff runs into. Yeah, very, very good stuff. If you guys want to be part of the show, we're talking about these fast radio bursts. We're talking about alien civilizations. We're adding Al Bilek to the conversation. That's kind of what we do the third hour, just to kind of let this range wherever the conversation goes. Because, staying on narrative for the entire time is a challenge, let's say. You run out of things to say, a lot of ideas kind of come and go, and then what? Then we're like, all right, let's play some videos and sip some beer. So so it's all good. So if you want to take the conversation anywhere, guys, we're still taking your phone calls. We're here with Kelly. Kelly, you're welcome to stay as long as you like, as you know. And 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Looking to hear from you guys. Again, the ideas that we share together is what makes this whole thing go round. So don't be shy. Absolutely don't be shy. Today is your first. If you're a first-time caller, well, tonight's your night. Tonight is your night. Let's do it. What else you got, my man? We got James just hopped on the caller queue, so we can get him in a sec here. But what else you got?
Kind of wanted to talk briefly about what the thing they were talking about with China, where I guess China just launched a missile that actually went, instead of just they launched it, but it actually went. It did a complete circle around it, like a whole orbit around the Earth, and it was actually pretty surprising, with, from our scientists in our government, because they've never seen that. But the story goes is they think that it's a craft to be able to it goes supersonic. It's supposed to be able to pop nuclear bombs faster. But when they were questioning China about it, they were saying that they're testing a new engine for a spacecraft that they're going to be building, like a galactic spacecraft. But that was their rebuttal to what our government was claiming that they were doing. Ashtray. But yeah, it was it's pretty interesting. That's the one I wanted to kind of talk about, because I don't know, man. No more China is not anymore doing any of this. What the United States doing years ago with alien technology, with reverse engineering, man. They're doing a step forward. They're moving past everything else. That's why they left our International Space Station, creating their own. I mean, some of the pictures on some of the stuff, it's compared to what we had, but it's cleaner. I mean, I've heard the United States now, they kind of want to get rid of the ISS and start something new. But yeah, that one's pretty crazy to even think about that they're starting, because I believe they were the ones who came out that they had an ion engine for space travel, and it was China that came out with that shit.
Yeah, notably too, when you're talking about that stuff, the crazy part is, me, I pay close attention to what the shaker movers and shakers in the UFO community are talking about, and what's his name, Chris Mellon, right, who was part of that TTSA and quit, and now he's kind of on his own, like Lou Elizondo. So Chris Mellon recently has been tweeting about China and their hypersonic stuff, and so he's basically been all about UFOs and advanced propulsion and ion drives and shit like that, like you've been saying. But then suddenly, for some reason, now he's like kind of tweeting out China stuff and their technology. It's like, wait, what? Like, so, like, what's going on here, right? There's a little bit of a kind of a left turn, and I'm not sure what to think about that.
If it's up to me, like, I think, because China has been actually a very secret country. That's why they've been, even for thousands of years, they've been trying to keep everybody out of China. You know what I mean? Like, whether they call it their enemies or whatnot, but, the Great Wall of China, all the way through the deserts and stuff, through the mountains. Now they're finding that they had underground walls that were like, in cave systems that were still built walls down there. But what's interesting is like all the stuff from like, they have these ancient pyramids, but they're trying to hide it, trying to grow trees on top of the shit where it looks ridiculous. But still, I mean, if they have some stuff, kind of like with Egypt, who knows what kind of technology was left in some of these. If the stories are true that, that there are different species that came here on this planet and commingled with some of these different, races on the planet, because, you hear stories are worldwide, but like within China, with theirs, their golden dragon that came from, stars and stuff like that, their first ruler and stuff. But man, who knows what kind of technologies they're finding out in those,
Yeah. Well, again, so what would that the quote unquote breakaway civilization be? Would it be a rogue nation like that kind of is not playing by the rules, but playing by the rules of who knows, like taking Nazi technology, or I don't know, like stuff like this, right? Like kind of ill-gotten gains of just butchering people and finding the secrets of the universe, I don't know. I think that's sort of probably what you would expect for maybe not China at all. Maybe, like insert name here of like the oldest, richest family in the world type stuff. You know what I mean? Who knows, man? That's the weird shit here.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, China is a different branch by itself, because they were never introduced to like, what people would call the secret societies here in the United States and Europe, you know what I mean? Because they're all stuck like together, you know what I mean? So, but you have other countries that got space programs and stuff, right? But it was almost like they're always they're not always adding every, not all the countries that want to be in there. It's like I don't know, man. For me, it'd be like China they're on their own shit right now. And they went through their industrial phase, now most everything that's made is over there. They have a clutch on everything with trade and building shit. So, I mean, they're a superpower, man. And they're not slowing down, I mean, there is no excuses with them. They're just doing the shit, And their culture is all about, like when they're doing stuff, kind of like with Japan, when they do stuff, they do this stuff with, to a, like, it's a craft to them, it's they have to master. If you're the best street sweeper, they're going to be the best street sweeper, in the Asian culture, that's just how it is. And to see that happening right now where, they're just going up and beyond, But, of course, something like that, our government's going to be always talking about, like, keep an eye on them. They're the enemy and all that other shit. But it seems to me that they're just bypassing that shit and just, going on about their own merry way.
Yeah, and they're bypassing us like crazy. I think that's the weird part, or I don't want to call it terrifying, but I think it's the worrying part that when you kind of just throw the rules out and don't really give a shit about people, which clearly they're proving, and I hate to say it, but the world's following them. The world's following that sentiment, Again, like trying to label your own citizens as terrorists because they don't like the way you run the country. Well, shit, run the country better. You know what I mean? Don't turn us into terrorists because we're not satisfied. I mean, look at Congress with their 11% approval rating or some shit like this, and it drops every year, right? I don't know, man. So what do you do? Instead of running the country better, you call your citizens terrorists. That's the China model. That's the way they roll over there. That's what that whole Hong Kong shit was about. They're like, no, we give a shit about our rights. Like we're not going to do this extradition to China stuff. And so remember, there's some conspiracy theories, by the way, that suggest that China unleashed this thing from the lab to stop those Hong Kong protests. Yeah. Anyway, and it stopped them, didn't it? It sure as hell did.
There's also stuff when this first came out that I was talking about. Not to jump off subject too far, but yeah, I mean that's not the only country that was. It was the U.S., UK, and them, and it was a little thing called the TRIPS agreement. But yeah, besides that though, man, there are all these. I think they were trying to get China in the fold. You know what I mean? Because now they became rich. The country was becoming a superpower in that sense. You know what I mean? I know it's a sad thing that yes, they have billions of people, but man, they have billions of people, and that's a lot of people. So their way of thinking, I don't know how. Pretty much, but I mean that's something that's kind of massive to handle. You know what I mean? That many people from one country, but. Yeah, who knows?
Still, it doesn't mean they have to run the shit in the ground and butcher people and have concentration camps and right. I mean, I'm with you. It's tough, but we're people. We're smart. We're capable. Let's step up to the challenge and make this right. Not just for the government, but for the people that are part of it. Right, the people that have actually given, in our case, given the government permission to govern us. Well, China was never right. There's no contract in China that suggests that's ever been the truth, at least recently with the CCP. James, welcome to the show. What's up, buddy? You're on with Kelly and Mike, and we're just talking about crazy random shit now. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much. Just really enjoying the show. Great calls with everyone as always. So, and yeah, this whole thing is interesting, even if it is just signals from. Who knows how many years ago? It's interesting that they're coming here now.
For sure, 100%. 100%. This is we've devolved into third hour mode, which is kind of basically wherever you want to go. And Kelly's bringing up some China stuff, and I kind of agree. They're not really into it for the worldwide rules, meaning the whole Geneva Convention and that type of stuff. I don't think they kind of give a shit. It's like. Or whatever, the climate stuff, everybody's like that Paris Climate Agreement. Notice China is notably absent, just kind of doing their thing, just pumping coal into the air and all this other shit. They just don't give a shit. They don't care. They just don't like they have a goal and they're going to get the goal, right? Like at all costs. That's the way it seems like. But yeah, so what else, guys? What else? Kelly, what you
got?
Salud.
I would say for these space signals, man, like I don't know, it could be like like I would think it's more of a it's a warning. If it's frantic like that and that many times, it sounds like, feels like a warning. But a warning what? You know what I mean? Is it like I said, it's the galactic war. And now that, we were connected, they say everything's connected, right? Maybe that's what they're looking for, or maybe they're looking for somebody and these people are going to destroy our planet before they do want to give you some information about these things and what they're doing, like could be like the Borg.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to that whole alien thing where do they have the same values as us at all? And I think when you're given like an entire, like you said, billions of people to rule over, or like an entire civilization like that, sure, it makes sense that you don't value the individual at all because, right, you make the decisions that are best for the collective. And who cares how many of the individuals you stomp? Because, let's say you just did the best thing for 60% of them. If you're just trimming out like, a dissidents like you and me, well, who gives a shit? And that's the scary part here, right? That's the hive mind mentality. That's all this stuff that we've been kind of considering and talking about and noticing it's happening here once again, right? Like, look what's happening. They're literally flip-flopping as these administrations change politically, and they're going after their political rivals. Like they're trying to put them in jail and shit. Like, what wasn't that supposed to be like not allowed? Like that was so off the beaten path. We're not supposed to be doing that. That's the whole point, right? One administration comes in, they throw the last administration in jail. Like that's Brazil type shit, Like, I mean, no offense to Brazil, like they're struggling for their freedom too, and they want rights and all that stuff. But holy fuck, right? Like at some point, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's all how some of these countries actually even started. Like Russia or even Italy. I mean, because it was it was families. It was mob families. That was the Tsars and stuff. Those are all families and shit, man. Those it was just like being passed down like that. It was like a grab. It was just like big mafia. It's just all that is. It's kind of like just everything. It's just a big mafia. Kind of like a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but back then when they had the, I won't go down that subject, but yeah, it's because that's just going down the whole different. Yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, it's how. Yeah, but like, I just want to go back to China again, though. Like, so to me, they've been always like exiled. You know what I mean? Or they exiled themselves. They kind of wanted to keep to themselves, and everybody wanted to try to crack the Chinese code, whatever. Which happened, it was their fall from no longer kingship and shit, kind of like what England still's got, but. They still have a king, I believe, but they still the government is what runs everything, and that's kind of what same thing with Japan. But I don't know, man. Sometimes you just got to think like some of the technology. I would say it's almost it's kind of like theory where you open up your head and it, like kind of like talk. Those stories about that is spaceships in there. So who knows what like. Ever some people think it's an adversary, right? It's an adversary that like some of these UFOs, it could be like here on planet, but if anything, it's I don't know, man. To me, it's somebody's got a hold of something, and I know we did, but we're not the only ones.
No, exactly. We are not. If we're the only ones, then it's a sad universe indeed. I'll give it that. Geez. Yeah. All right. So we got Jennifer calling in. We'll go to her in just a moment here. Anything on that, James?
I do think the idea of the signal being for other species instead of us is an interesting one.
Like the Cthulhu wake-up call?
Or anything. Just any... I mean, we've had reports of UFO and alien encounters for, who knows, how many decades, and some cases centuries now? And what if it is for other races and not for us?
Right, exactly. I agree. Who knows what's here? Like as we've always talked about this dimensional stuff, or who the hell knows, right? People are seeing something out there, and I'm not exactly sure it's we can just write it off as weather balloons. Still, it's 75 freaking years later. We're still talking about weather balloons in the damn sky. It's ridiculous. All right, let's go to Jennifer. Jennifer in Missouri, welcome to the show. You're on with Mike, James, and Kelly. How are you?
Hey, guys. Doing good. So I had a thought on these FRBs. So I was, at first I was like, I don't know what this is. So I was kind of looking into it. And as you were explaining, that it's got the power of the sun, the same amount of energy coming out of the sun almost. And what I saw was either, how much it's put out, like in a millisecond, in the course of 3 days or even up to a year. So it's extremely powerful, isn't it? And it's coming from very, very far away. Now I'm going to skip around that, and it's a light that's got that comes across as a radio wave, which makes sense. And then the fact that it's a certain type of it's a frequency, and they've detected FRBs that are at 110 megahertz all the way up to 430. I don't know what this one was. But what's really interesting to note is at that point, it doesn't really matter what the source would be and what you could go into examining. I mean, it does. It definitely does. But if we don't know, we can't be sure. But what we can kind of consider is we know that these megahertz and different frequencies do have an effect in some degree on organic life. So even humans have a response to certain types of levels of megahertz and frequencies. I wonder if it's coming, and we are coming in contact with it, even if it's in a wave or it's detected by their instruments, but yet it's still coming against us, coming, across into our universe and also across our planet, and then, therefore, us, I wonder if it would be affecting, a change of consciousness in any way even, or have some kind of effect of a shifting, or could induce such a thing to affect humanity on a really big scale, possibly. Because we know that the radio waves put out in space are extremely, they have a very powerful effect on people who do go up into the upper atmospheres, and even just down here on the Earth, when people talk about solar flares and things like that. So I kind of wonder if we put aside, well, either way, if it's coming from a civilization at any point in history and time, that they somehow managed to put something like this out, or if it has to do with, like nuts. There was an article about the rotation and the orbital days and how that could actually somehow, we could be detecting the light of a sun-like star, and then that we possibly could be encountering maybe an effectual, like this could be a frequency thing that they're not really discussing, but it's kind of undercurrently known in their, in their business, but we don't really realize that. But maybe there is an effect. Maybe we're being affected. Maybe it's got something to do with, but we don't know the effect. But we know that the 110 frequency megahertz is considered the human frequency. And something about, I remember hearing about this, and other people may know more about that, because I didn't do a lot of research into it, but I know that there's the 430 and the 422 and all those different frequencies. But I wonder what frequency and the megahertz of this particular FRBS, it'd be interesting to know. And I wonder if it would have an effect, which although they're not going to say that, but I mean, it's kind of the undercurrent if you're studying the thing about the resonance and all that stuff. But I don't know, it's just a thought. And I was like, I don't know, can mention that.
Yeah, good stuff. I agree, and kind of like I described a little bit earlier, is maybe there's some sort of like cosmic timer. We talk about the age of Aquarius, and like as things change, the ages change. Maybe it's something to do with these frequencies, these vibrations, and maybe this is it. Maybe like it's the undercurrent. Yeah, it's like we're being bombarded by it right now. We don't even realize it until it continues. It continues. It continues. It continues. And then for whatever reason, right, maybe it gets cast back at some point to wherever it came from. And we're kicking this idea of this transformation. Who knows? Yeah, I'm with you. One of the ideas I had tonight was on par with that, just in the sense that how would we know? We're so like baby scale compared to like we're just able to actually hear these things with radio telescopes. Like that, maybe this happened 36,000 years ago, type thing. Like yeah, I love the idea.
Well, they could also. They said that you could detect on your cell phone. A cell phone could detect one of these FRBs if it was in our Milky Way, and I thought that was interesting. So I mean, this is obviously very, very far away, but I mean they are pretty powerful. And then even if they were to somehow harness something that we don't know about, it could even surpass the speed of light and. It could. I mean, maybe it's not delineated the same way as our time is, and possibly, maybe it's not from 36,000 years ago. Maybe it's intended for this time. Maybe there's even a civilization that could foresee to some extent, through some means, to send it at this particular time, at this exact moment, because we don't know what these are, what kind of species, or if what an alien is, or what a civilization would be. If it's coming from even what you mentioned earlier about dimensions, this could be we don't even understand couldn't comprehend possibly what the intentions would be of relaying this. But the idea that we would be able to, that we're even looking for it, is unusual. It says something about the fact that we're even watching for these frequencies or paying attention to this is unusual in a way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, agreed.
Anyway, it's just, I don't know.
Howdy, Internet people. It's just a thought. If you guys love Jennifer's takes on this stuff, which we've got actually, people were demanding Jennifer create a YouTube channel, and it has been realized. It has been manifested into existence with the hard work of Jennifer. Scroll down. Jennifer's link is down below. Follow her YouTube channel. You're amazing, Jen. Thanks for all the amazing takes. What else you got? Anything else while we got you on the phone tonight?
No, just thank you, Mike, for flagging that. Even though I haven't done a lot with it. I've only got like 8 videos.
That's okay.
I haven't done much with it.
Hey,
but I'll be trying to do something with it.
Everybody started at 8 videos, and then it was 20, and then it was 80, and then it was 250, and then, well, history. You're the best, Jen. Thanks for the call.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Have a great night. There you go. There you go. Jennifer, always with a great take. If you guys want to follow her channel, scroll down. It's right there on Rockfin. It's right there on YouTube. Can't miss it. Follow Jennifer and give her some love over there on her YouTube channel. Takes on that, boys. What do you think?
I don't even know where to start. That is interesting. But I'm not seeing it all right now. I don't know. I think there's so many possibilities. What it could be, who it could be directed at, who it could be saying. I think at this point, though, what it is saying, like everyone has kind of hinted at already, we're not going to find out directly, at least right away anyway. So, not even really as concerned about that. You know that it's going to be spun no matter what it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are drinking the maybe juice and speculating. So this is the question show, not the answer show. So it's okay. I think the fact that we don't come to conclusions is it's valuable in my opinion, because we can talk about something next week and not have to try and reinforce and try and make make people believe the things we're saying. You don't believe it at all. That's fine. We're literally just kind of throwing ideas out there and maybe kicking ideas back and forth, and sometimes it triggers something in your mind that makes sense, so it's good. Like, I've been following some of this UFO Twitter stuff, and there's some cult-like stuff going on over there, right? Like, and I see, right? I see why people get all like super jazzed up in that, but literally ask yourself, like, okay, if you're like, all right, am I in a cult? And you keep going back to this place, whatever, including this show, include this in it. But if you keep going back and they keep reinforcing the answers they told you previously, right? Well, you might be in a cult. You might be in a cult. If the entire premise is just reinforcing their worldview onto you, well, just saying, there's some weirdness going on over there. So I'm not going to point any. I'm not going to link any Twitter accounts or give any names, but just be wary of people bearing answers. Be wary of people bearing answers. Yeah. There you go. What's up, Ash? Ash says, I don't know why cults get a bad rap. Let's start a cult now. All hail me. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Yeah, Tim, we got some time. Go ahead, hop on in here. Kelly, anything else, man? I don't want to keep you here if you're just listening. You're cool, man. I don't want to twist your arm, brother. You're welcome to stay, but I know you got shit to do too.
Yeah, it's kind of Jennifer was kind of down the same trail that we were going, but just in a different way of like turning maybe only affecting us or other people. Maybe it's for us. Maybe it's for maybe it's for the old ones. You know what I mean? something's maybe waking back up. You know, who knows? Or maybe it's a call for getting ready or something.
Yeah, it is. What did Tesla said, right? I think of the world in terms of frequency. What do you say? What do you say? There are three things: frequency, vibration, energy, frequency, vibration. Right? I think that's what he said. Yeah. That it makes sense. It makes sense. It would trigger something. What that is, I don't know. We'll see. And it's interesting too. Like we got kind of a short data set, even though it's like spamming like crazy. This intergalactic signal or whatever it is, but it's short, right? Meaning that we just started picking this up and they just started reporting it. So let's see if it continues. If it's one of those things that just like keeps just going off the chain, just beeping us with whatever is happening. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the time of the. I don't know, the time of whatever. Like I said, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. But all right, you're cool. You're cool, Tam. All right. Let's wrap it up, boys. Let's do it. Final thoughts here.
Just for me, I don't know, man. It'd be, if you want to be interested in this, it's kind of like, I guess you'd have to follow that wherever that information came out. But radio or frequency or not frequency, but what radio band that came from or whatever. What can't even see what I'm trying to say here. What laboratory it's fucking coming from? You know what I mean? So I would say, kind of just follow that if you want to keep track of that. I'm interested in some of these things too, where all these stories are coming about these radio signals coming from everywhere. So I mean, but to me, man, Jesus Christ, this shit's, I don't know. I say it's all an illusion. We already fucked. That's my opinion. But
we already screwed the pooch.
This is like, to me, sometimes I think they just slowly give this shit out. Like, we're still using rockets, man. It's 2021. Where's my flying car? You know what I mean? Where's my power source? I don't never have to use nothing. Get rid of all these power lines. That's what, that they got strung out on this whole planet. It's just retarded. You know what I mean? That's what I want. You know what I mean? Some of these, that's why I take some of these stories for, as a grain of salt. But when I get into them, then it makes your imagination go. That's why I end tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is always great. That's why we always tune in.
Exactly. Just to add to what you're saying there, like I thought I should have said this last night and I didn't. We were talking about the robot dogs with the machine guns on them, whatever, the sniper rifles. It's like, wait, so we don't have these things carrying groceries for old ladies, but they've got machine guns on them. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the fucking world we live in, right? It's like, come on, man. Like,
here's one for you too, Mike. All right, so now we can. This is I was just you know what, I've been trying to get something to talk about this technology too, and it's fucking retarded because we're watching the news, right? And you know what? We have technology that's like an ultrasonic that can break up the inside of inside your veins that are for blocking stuff, whether it be calcium or something, right? We got the technology for that, but you know what they're using it on? Huh? They're using it on for people that you can stop using Viagra. You can go ahead and get your penis veins cleaned out so you can have an erection. That's what we're using the technology for, Mike. Instead of fucking clearing hearts and helping them with their heart disease, we can clear your penis veins.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
it's retarded. That's how retarded it is. I look at that shit sometimes and I'm like, geez. In a handbasket, man.
Yep. In a hurry. Hell in a handbasket in a hurry. Kelly, you're the best. Thanks, brother. James, you get to follow up the main vein conversation.
Well,
sorry, man. You know what? I had to throw that in there. But you guys have a good night, man.
Have a good one, Kelly. Appreciate it, brother.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's just I think we have to keep an eye on this whole all these signals. I think it is interesting if it is all legitimate. Again, I do think that we are fed information. I do agree with Kelly on that as far as we're only given information after it's okay to be given that information in a lot of cases. But just going on the purely the imaginative side of things, I do think. I wonder if it is another race. I wonder if it's meant for us or meant for other aliens. It's and as always, just questions. That's all we have are questions.
Questions is what it is. What's up, guys? I see you there on the Rock Fan. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's a long show. So, all right. So the deal is this, right? As we finish up tonight, the bad news is we're done. All right. But the good news is, God willing, we've got tomorrow, and so we'll be back at 7 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. And the other good news is we'll have James right here, Salcedo Paranormal. Please follow his podcast. He's doing good work over there. He's streaming multiple times a week, telling ghost stories, doing paranormal stuff. Salcedo Paranormal, same thing. Scroll down. If you want to follow Jennifer, please do. Scroll down. It's on Rockfan and on YouTube. Same thing with James. His link is down below. Scroll down. Give these folks some love. They call in. They contribute to these conversations. Again, right? Like I always said, me talking's fine, right? I'm not terrible. I'm not great, but I'm not, fine. It's fine. However, you start mixing in all these brilliant folks, and look what happens. You start to have amazing conversations. So give these people some love, because they're taking some time out, not just listening, but they're contributing, and it's a very big deal. It keeps the thing rocking. It keeps me coming back, to be honest, because it's exhausting doing 3 hours by yourself. So if I had to do, I'd just keep trimming the shows shorter and shorter and shorter, right? Because YouTube says they should be 11 minutes long, right? That's the ideal length. But, that's why we haven't blown up, because we're taking calls. We talk to you. We want this to be a conversation. It's not the most ideal thing to package and push and press and try and market and all the rest of that, but it doesn't matter, because we're making friends and we're having good conversations, and right. So you see, it is what it is. So thank you, James. Please give him some love over there. Salcedo Paranormal. Scroll down, you'll find him there. Follow Jennifer. Follow Tinfoil Timothy. Buy Robert's book. Follow Tam Bam on Instagram. It's all down there. It's in the links. Like I said, if you guys have. If you have stuff that you want to help, that you want me to help promote, and you contribute to the show, simple. You just call in from time to time, and we'll link you up, and we'll talk about it, because I truly believe this. James knows. James will vouch for me. We're not competing, right? We're making each other better, and we can all succeed together. James, back me up, brother.
Yeah. No, I think it's an amazing community we're building here, and I think the more we all talk, the more it can grow, and that's an amazing thing.
Amen. All right, let's get out of here. So Crab Apple on Rockfin says, if an alien could call in, that would be great. Open invitation to all the aliens and everybody else. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. As you know, sometimes we do hang out after the show in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, you are missing out. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link and get your ass in here. Get your ass in here. Here we go. I'm playing some music. James, you want to howl or beat your chest or tell me some terrible things?
No. Great show as always. Great calls. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Fantastic. James and I will be here tomorrow doing paranormal stuff on Troubled Minds. We'll see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. And yeah. David says, all mine says is block or report. Whoa. Don't do that. Don't do either of those things. I know. It's all good. I see the chat. I know we're just having fun with each other. It's okay. No trolls out there. I appreciate you guys. 100%. I appreciate you guys being cool with each other. That's what this is about. Like I said, that's what this is all about. Show up, hang out, kick your ideas around, talk about amazing stuff, and that's what we do. So, like I said, we're done for tonight. If you like Troubled Minds, spread the word. Join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. There are ways you can help the show. You can support the show with money, or you can support the show with your time just by listening on the podcast feed. There's ads on there, as you guys probably know, and it kicks pennies, right? The pennies add up. So it's all good. It's all there. Like I said, the more people we get listening, contributing to those things, listening on Rockfin, they pay out in crypto. Views get pennies. The podcast feed gets pennies. Pennies add up. The Twitch feed gets pennies. Those 3 places in order. Podcast feed, Rockfin, Twitch. If you want to help for free, just listen to our archives there. Come hang out with our live streams there, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. The more we get in that range, the more content we can do. I feel like I'm the hardest working dude in show business sometimes, and this ain't even a show. It's just a conversation. So we're going to keep on trucking, keep on bringing good conversations and good thoughts and making friends. And thumbs up. Thank you, David. Thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thumbs ups everywhere. Spread the word. Most important thing. Thanks, James. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Tam Bam. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Night Stalker. Thanks, Joe in Florida. I missed somebody. See, that's why you can't list everybody, because you forget somebody, don't you? Who else did I miss?
Did you mention Daryl?
Daryl. I got Daryl. Happy birthday, Daryl.
No, I'm sorry. Terrible with that.
It's all good. I'm the same. That's why if you list everybody, you get fucked because you always leave somebody out. All right, so we're done. Thanks a lot, guys. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. You know how it goes. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. We'll see you on the Discord in a few minutes. Woo, there it is. Wow, 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 wow. How do you like my falsetto, Daryl? Ow, wow, wow, wow.
Get
All right.
Google alerts on meteors. Got one today. See,
All right,
New York
and-
City, the overnight meteor shower and the October full hunter's moon lead roles on the skywatching marquee this month. Oh, they all have lead roles. Okay.
Hell yeah, they do.
Doesn't make me happy.
All right, Daryl, we'll jump in the other channel. We'll catch you there. Stream is
Got
ending
it.
now. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow. Ow. How'd you like? Wait. Before we go, how'd you like my falsetto? Ow.
I love your falsetto.
Thanks. All right.